Esports, trying to find the angle they can, trying to find somebody out of position.
We're gonna go through on this. Oh, what a roll. We're gonna take black. See White gonna go in.
It's going to be a really, really interesting one.
Oh my god. All of this competition could be so damn close, so I cannot wait for us to finally decide who's going to be the champion. We are expecting some chaos, some great moments.
A beast mode has killed 3. Only gonna really need that rampage, so it's gonna clear it out. Santi gonna get themselves a big old 4K. Oh. Santi getting rid of 3, clearing out the house.
That is crazy.
Nunji actually kills 3 people.
This team feels entirely different on this faster composition. Now Saga4 is hanging around, getting onto the high ground. Post bomb's gonna stick on the Leaky. They're not gonna be able to survive it at the end of the day. Manages to find a 3K.
Rio shoving this Ana into a corner. Woo! One more for the road for Rio.
That is all signs go. Melophobia with 3 Melophobia. Start the fight. They'll end the fight. Oh my god. Beagle Bus, they have to play aggressively into this energy, popping off in a moment where you needed just that. Ruby in that backline. Oh, the flick. Looking for it. Oh my goodness. The 4th one as well. Do they get the ace? They get the ace.
EU gave us a spectacular showing earlier on today, but now stepping into NA, they have some massive shoes to fill. Hello, everyone, and welcome to CGL Saturday Night Overwatch. We're in the winners round 1 playoffs for the NA Diamond PC tier, where we have Chill Guys going up against Infinity. Now, I do need to make note. You're watching earlier, and you saw Nightmare Rotation going up against YFP. No, you didn't. Okay, that never happened. Fever dream. Okay, fever dream. But joining me on the desk is going to be to try hard Ray and Jeff yet again. Ray, we've been having a good day of Overwatch so far. Like a lot of Overwatch, by the way, because we did also have the RRG teams going up against each other, where the JV team curb stomped their varsity team.
Yeah, has everyone questioning who really is the varsity team now? As 3-0 stomping fashion. Then for any of you guys who are watching on EU, I know some of y'all don't like to get up that early, but big upset alert. EMC Helheim taking down Team.exe in a 3-2 map 5 banger. If you did not see that, go back and watch the VOD. It was a crazy match.
Yeah, I don't even think the word crazy describes what we...
I don't want to spoil something, but let's just say a surprise hero makes the day.
There was a lot of surprises that matchup, Jeff. There was untold amount of shenanigans and an untold amount of the underdog coming through.
There was definitely some shenanigans. There was definitely some shenanigans in EMEA earlier today. And as far as underdog stories are concerned, I mean, you know what? Infinity are hoping that that story will repeat itself here tonight. It was a massive underdog story. It was, a team that was, on a 3-game loss streak coming into that match. They had lost the head-to-head early in the season. Still, they come in and upset. And like I keep saying, once you make it to the postseason, you wipe the slate clean. Anything can happen. And yeah, our underdog tonight's hoping that that story will ring true for them as well.
Yeah, hopefully. But we also saw the schedule right there, right? So we have tonight's matchup with the Chill Guys versus Infinity, but there's still another matchup happening after this game tonight. So there's still more Overwatch that's going to be happening over on the CGL_2 channel. So make sure you go and follow that real quick and then come back to us, because they're not happening at the same time, all right? We're just setting you up for success and setting you up for more entertainment as the night goes on. But I do want to take a look at the NA bracket real quick and see how the winners round 1 has been going on. And we have a lot more to look at here versus what we saw on the EU side of things, where obviously Chill Guys are going up against Infinity in the NA Diamond tier. We have Cogent Vendetta 3-0ing SCAD B Sports Black, Golden Hour 3-0ing Ace of Spades, and we still have Oops All Vibes versus BGSU Falcons, which is actually the game that's happening after this one. So you get a really good idea of what's going to be happening as these brackets start filling out, right?
it is going to be a masterpiece to see this in a diamond division. Very interesting. We have some teams that are absolutely dominating right now, but the best thing I love about diamond is things are so up in the air. When you start diving into the lower ranks, you're not necessarily going to get meta. You can get a lot of craziness, and that's what I love about the diamond division.
And we saw that, right? Craziness, Jeff. So much craziness today. And hey, craziness, it works, right? It works. And if you can make it, if it's what you feel comfortable with as a team, oh, the sky is the limit.
It can work. It can work. It's not guaranteed to work by any means, and there's definitely the more opportunity for that for teams falling into their strengths and what got them here. You definitely see a lot more of that in the Diamond Division as you do, in like say our open tier. But I mean, that's not to say that meta gets thrown out the window either. Another point I wanted to highlight looking at that bracket was just the collegiate teams. We've been seeing the peppered collegiate teams here in CGL, and I love that we get to see those kind of the up and coming teams. Like we saw one of Scad's JV squads there in that bracket, and just getting to see more collegiate kind of being peppered in here through CGL puts a smile on my face.
It does, right? It's really nice to see the pedigree that's starting to come towards CGL, starting to gravitate in this direction. We see it all across the different divisions, as a matter of fact, not even just limited to collegiate, but some very familiar faces like the certain matchup that was supposed to happen tonight, but never was, fever dream. Again, I want to reiterate that. But we the matchups that we have tonight are going to be very exciting. However, though, before we get any further into that, Ray, you have a lovely game set up for us again tonight that Jeff and I are going to be the little guinea pigs running through the maze for. So I'm going to leave it all on the floor for you to take over, my friend.
Alrighty, so earlier in the day we had Fit Check, and I'll give you this, Bullskunk came up with the game, so credit to him. It was a very good idea for a game, but I take all credit for the name. We are playing Whose Voice Line Is It Anyway? So basically how this is going to work is I'm just going to read a voice line. It's not going to be an audio recording. That'd be too easy. I can't let you guys off that easy. So we're gonna read it, and then you guys will let me know what your guess is, and we will. Oh, we got a little bit of a hero reveal on my screen that we could figure out who these are. I think some of them are gimmies, some of them I made hard, so can't wait to see.
This sounds like a hard game already.
Let's start with number one. I think this one you guys will all know. First voice line is sorry, 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 sorry.
Oh, that's easy. That's so easy. Jeff, would you?
There's both of you say it. Go ahead.
Well, it's May.
It's May.
But
it's
not only is it May, that was not a planned voice line. That was just the voice actor just said that because she messed up one of her lines, and they actually used it because it was so good.
It fits May
You're
perfectly.
correct. It was May.
That's understanding the assignment, by the way, of your character and how they are.
All right. Number two. I think this one's achievable for you guys. We got a perfect 10.
Huh? That's the voice line?
Would you like to know what it's a Summer Games one. I'll tell you that. A perfect 10.
Ooh.
I'll go to Sam first on this one.
Is it Lucio?
Jeff?
Ooh. For a Summer King's voice line?
That's a tough one.
That is a tough one.
Oh, no. I'm scared Jeff's going to reach in the third eye.
I mean, I was able to pull it out in Sigma. I don't know. Maybe all exhausted at this point. I want to say Mercy.
Ooh.
The answer is
Widowmaker.
I knew it was. I could. Yes. Yes.
How fit in? I can hear it.
Yeah, I could hear it.
Okay, that was a tough one.
That was a good one. That was a good one. Yeah.
Number 3. Would you like my analysis of the situation? This is a common one. This is one of their common ones.
Right.
I'll start with Jeff.
I'm gonna go Echo.
I want to go Echo too, but I'm actually leaning towards Baptiste.
Alrighty.
My-
The answer is
Orisa!
I'm sorry. I should have known that one.
that's why I thought you would have gotten that one for sure, Jeff.
I'm mad I didn't get that one. I'm mad I didn't get that one.
Oh,
And these are
It's
hard.
so
Out
sad.
of context, these are hard.
they really are.
Yeah.
You don't really
Yeah.
think about it very often.
Okay, I think with the context clues, you guys might be able to get this one.
Okay.
All right, number 4. You are not ready to learn. Starting with you, Sam.
Is it Symmetra?
Oh, that's a fair shout, Jeff.
Ooh.
I'm a little shaky on my Symmetra choice.
All right,
Hey, if you want to change it,
I think
Jeff
that's-
hasn't picked yet. I'll let you change it if you
I
want
think
to
that's a pretty
change real
good
quick.
shout, but it does.
Oh no, I'm gonna stick with it. I'm going with my gut. I'm going with the gut instinct.
I'm going back to Echo, actually.
Oh, okay.
The answer.
It's
It's a Zenyatta line. Should have known. Should have known the
I'm not ready
context. The
to
context,
learn.
Sam. We were missing the context.
I
on that
know.
one.
Yeah, that's not like
context
I was
is
like I
so-
think if you read the context clues, you can probably figure it out. But
This is a lot harder than I thought it was gonna be.
I know, right?
You hear these voice lines so often, but when you don't, like when you take the voice of the character
okay,
away.
okay. This one is a freebie. I'm certain you guys get this one.
Uh-oh.
Number
Okay.
5, climbing the charts.
Is it Diva?
That's got to be Lucio.
One Diva. I'm gonna stick with it.
Answer is. Wait, where is it? There we go.
Yeah.
Ah,
Lucio.
Yeah.
that's
That
unfortunate.
one. That one hit. That one hit home. That one clicked
That one
something
did.
in the gray matter.
Mm-hmm.
It just got lucky. It just got lucky. Like it happened to land into a gray matter spot.
Yeah, climbing the charts though, that makes sense because it's Lucy. Yeah,
Because he's a musician. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. That's,
So I'm gonna say I don't know if you guys will get this one, but
Oh,
I really
bring it
hope
on.
you do because I'll be able to explain why I think you guys might get this one.
No,
So
bring it
this
on.
one is, and they say chivalry is dead.
Oh, that's a
they
classic.
Say, and they say, yeah, that's a classic one.
Thank
It's a
you.
classic.
Okay, thank you. I was hoping you guys would get that just on that, but I was like, I don't know if they'll get it like in the context of the whole quote, but maybe.
Yes, that is a
but yes.
doomfist.
It's
Oh yeah.
Doomfist,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. It was.
Mhm.
I mean,
And that's the
Made
one that
I was
popular-
hoping everyone
and they
would get
say,
the and they say and they say and they say.
and they say.
it was made popular by your Owl Season 2 MVP.
Oh, man, that one was good. That one was good. All right, what's our?
All right. Next one. We have you trying to be scary. This is a Halloween one.
That sounds like something Soldier 76 would say.
No, it's a girl voice line. It's. I want to say it's Anna, but it's not Anna. Anna's is "Are you scared?"
That is correct. Actually, I looked into it. Yeah, that Anna's is Are You Scared? I'll tell you, it's not Anna's.
I know
It's
that.
Are You
I
Scared?
know that. I know. I'm confident enough that I'll give Sam that hint as well. But it's similar. It's somewhere in that vein.
What was the
I'll
voice
just
line
tell
again?
you, it's not Farrah. It's not her daughter. Like it's
Right.
not Farrah either. I'll
Right.
give you
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
It's
No,
not
that's
her
not what I
daughter.
was thinking.
Can we get the voice line again?
Yeah. You trying to be scary?
I'm sticking with Soldier. I don't. It's. I'm confident. I'm confidently ready to be wrong.
I'm gonna go Moira.
Ooh.
I was hoping you guys pulled this one out. The answer.
Oh, it's Sombra.
Sombra.
Yeah. I could. It was right there. It was right there.
Yeah, I know, Jeff. You were so close.
right there.
I felt you were right there with it.
It was one of the talent.
Like when you were like, I'm certain that's a girl. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
you might get this.
Yeah.
I guess I just don't know what Overwatch.
I feel like I should get a
characters
half point for that. I even got like it was a Talon. Like so close, y'all.
So close.
so close.
All right, final one. We have. It's only a game. Why do you have to be mad?
Oh, that's I know who that is.
Yeah, that actually is your previous guess.
Wait, is it?
I'm pretty sure.
What's your guess, Jeff? We'll let you go first.
Wait
on this
a minute. I think it's Soldier 76.
I thought it was Zarya.
I think it's
Is that
Soldier
your- is
76
that your guys'
talking to
guesses?
Diva. Because Diva responds. If it's the interaction I'm thinking of.
I'm locking in Zarya.
I'm locking in Soldier.
Yes!
Zarya! You get the tie!
Yes!
You get the tie!
I remember
Son
that too.
of a... Son of a Zarya.
I was like, it's because they had that Russian hockey player or something. He's like, "What do you have to be so mad?" And that's the only reason I knew it was Zarya.
There's the interaction with Soldier and Diva. Where
Okay, I am going to the website that I found these on. I'm going to find a tiebreaker real quick.
Okay. Yeah, we need.
I won't have a real picture for it, but I'm going to tiebreaker since we have some
hopefully.
extra time.
But there's an interaction where Diva responds with, "Are you sure life isn't a game?" Like, there's that whole interaction with her and
Yeah,
Soldier.
Man, you better pick a couple here, Ray, because the way things have been going, we might need it.
Okay, all right, here we go. All right, I got one. Stupidity is not a right.
Lock it in.
I'm
Sam?
gonna go Symmetra.
Jeff?
Moira.
He is correct. It is Moira. Congratulations,
Hey!
Jeff.
Got the tiebreaker. Oh, you're so close, Ed. You were so close. Not today. Not today.
Man. I've
Hey,
lost by 1 point on each of these games now. we're keeping it competitive.
We are
Dude, the
keeping it
Zarya pull at the end there was very good.
the Zarya pull was very
I
good.
couldn't believe that one.
Honestly, I didn't think either of you were gonna get that Zarya one, so I'm very impressed you ended up getting that one.
That should be worth a half point. If I deserved a half point for my Talon female guess, you'd at least deserve a half point, like an extra half point for getting that one.
Oh man, I thought Ray was gonna have some funny ones in there too, like Reinhardt.
See, that's what the sorry was for, okay? Like the sorry was the
Oh, good game,
that's
Ray.
perfect.
Thank you. Good game. Good game.
Hey, hey, woohoo, Jeff
Yeah.
winning!
Woohoo! Congratulations, Jeff.
Thank
You need
you.
to get like the
was
little
fun.
yay! All right. Well, hey, a lot of fun games to be had here on Saturday Night Overwatch, including the one that we have coming up ahead of us, though. Chill Guys versus Infinity. And since we had to kind of do this at the, we pivoted towards it at the last second, fortunately, no pre-recorded interviews for either of these teams. But, I mean, it is always, yeah, I know, Jeff, big sad over here. Well, Ray did a really amazing 5-minute interview with the Nightmare Rotation coach, right? Isn't that right, Ray?
Yeah, I did do a 5-minute interview with the Nightmare Rotation coach. It was gonna be glorious.
Maybe one day we'll release that from the
Yeah,
vaults
well, we'll have to
somewhere.
get rotation back on here.
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess we can discuss a little bit more. We can go into the lineups for these two teams, starting off with Chill Guys, and get some idea of what things are going to be looking like. We have Reverts, Hollander, Cloud Lemon, it's Vert, and Xerneas. So taking a look at how the lineup is here, Jeff, I mean, if it's a pretty decent spread of what looks like some dive heroes. Also, what that logo? Vert is a chill guy.
Vert is a chill guy. That's what I mean. We automatically know all we need to know about our main support player here, right? So it's been laid out for us. Vert is a chill guy. That's what you need to know. We're definitely seeing a bit of a dive look if the images of their favorite heroes are anything to go off of. The Lucio Curie combined with the Winston, I mean, definitely shows us a bit of that. Who knows what's going to happen coming into this meta? Xerneas is a name I recognize. probably somebody I've cast somewhere before, and if it's a name that stood out and kind of stuck in the gray matter a little bit, maybe somebody to keep an eye on.
Keep in mind, Vert is also on our staff team. He is one of the new casters we brought on this season. So, always nice to see some staff playing in CGL as well.
Hey, I mean, I know a little bit about Vert. Vert's a chill guy.
Jeff, that is some very good observations.
This is why you bring me on here, Sam.
That kind of hard-hitting analytical desk work is the reason why you're here.
Watch out.
We got Infinity up next. We got the lineup coming up for our next team. Hey, it's looking pretty similar. Hero lineup-wise, Ace Matrix, Leo Leopard, Ace. Red is a Hot Fry, and Happy Rogue. Also, I would give this logo an Infinity out of 10, Jeff.
I don't envy our casters going in with this lineup. You got a lot of, you have Ace and Ace Metrics, Leo Leopard, some alliteration. There's a lot of trip ups here for our casters. I mean, you're gonna be careful and be patient. I know there's no way I would get Red as a Hot Fry out every time without tripping over it. So I'm just saying.
Ray, I'm looking throughout all of these names. Yeah, that's I'm agreeing with Jeff on that one. These names are. I'm stumbling over everything right now already. I'm trying to get words out of my mouth, and it's infinity difficulty.
Like I'm not saying you did a bad job, but I'm saying like even you were like sitting there like making sure you parsed it correctly before saying it. Imagine trying to say that in quick succession while doing a cast. Like, ugh.
In all seriousness, I mean, this is a 5-3 squad coming up against an undefeated 8-0 team. I mean, if we're really going to get down to the stats here, I mean, like this is your underdog of the day. Chill Guys on paper should absolutely be the favorites of the day.
The one thing that's interesting was Chill Guys have technically the best record. They're a 9-0 team, and then on the other side there was an 8-0 team. So Chill Guys had the first pick when they went to pick for the stream, and there were two teams that were 4-4 in both divisions, and they didn't pick them. They picked Infinity, the 5-3 team, so they didn't go to the bottom of the barrel to pick their opponent. They picked one of the better teams that were on that list.
To me, that's just To me, that just feels like a confidence.
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
You're unafraid of whoever you have to fight, and the numbers don't mean anything because, well, you're just a bunch of chill guys, right?
We'll see if that works for them, because even EU this morning admittedly on the interview, Team EXC, they literally said, well, we picked the harder opponent. We'll admit that, and then it bit them in the butt. So we'll have to see how that goes for Chill Guys.
Oh. That's what I love, though. It's the underdog story, Jeff. It's what makes we've been talking about it so much today, and it's just been a commonly running theme, especially when you get into the playoffs, where everything is magnified to its utmost extremes. You know, a little bit further on down the road when you start reaching the semifinals, quarters, and the grand finals. But for right now, you want to show what you're made of, even if you are the underdog.
Oh, I mean, I think it's almost better if you're the underdog in a certain situation, just because you have nothing to lose. You're on paper, you're expected to go out early. Like you're expected to be the one. You know, if it takes a beating, you're like, yeah, that was the results we expected. You know, if you look at on paper, okay, you come up and upset, and then suddenly you're on top of the world. Like you really have nothing to lose coming in as a 5-3 underdog against an undefeated team.
It's the storyline that writes itself. It's always one of the most fun ones, and it's what made EU so much fun to watch this morning. So I think we got some desk preds that we should go ahead and start mentioning here. Yeah.
This is where things get scary.
I know, especially after this morning.
I know.
We were all so confident. We were so ready. But the only one
so wrong.
The only one who was right was Megalast, because they talked to concrete. They talked to streets. Anyways, yeah, so we'll start off with me. I am a firm believer in the Chill Guys camp, and this time I am 100% all of the way on the Chill Guys train. There is not going to be map 5. It's a straight 3-0. Easy peasy.
I respect it.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you. You committed.
I committed this time. Well, yeah, this time. Yeah, I don't know. Now, Ray, are you ready, buddy? What's your preds?
Listen, Listen.
Uh-oh.
I have been known for these last few weeks as the cowardly 3-1 picker, and admittedly, in some situations it's worked out for me. I got burned this morning. No more cowardice from this man. I'm going 3-0 for the side of Chill Guys. They've been dominant. They won the mid-season tournament in dominating fashion. They're going to continue that dominance.
Oh my gosh. Okay. All right, Ray. I love this newfound confidence in yourself. I love
I know, right?
Yeah, dude, you were ready. You pointed at the screen. That was a power play, man. I
It was
felt
a
scared
power
for a second. Jeff, you're here to round out the desk now. You had a 3-0 prediction this morning. Is that train running again tonight?
You betcha it is. I mean, there's only been 2 results here for Chill Guys all season long. They've either had 3-0s or 3-2s. They have not had a single 3-1 in the entirety of their undefeated run here. I don't think Infinity's going to send them to a map 5. It's going to be another 3-0.
All right, there it is. The desk has spoken their piece. Let's hope that tonight on the NA pond, the NA side of the pond, that we're going to be correct. Right? That's what we're all hoping for here for our desk predictions. What about our casters? What are they thinking? What's going on through their little minds? Well, Megalast, we're very scared of what's going on there. So we'll hold off on that one for last. Let's start with Hunter Tane and see what the man himself is saying. He is the coward for tonight.
I cannot wait to talk to that man. He's supposed to be our map 5 enthusiast. Where's the map 5 Hunter? Well, I can't wait to drag them up here.
Ray stopped being a 3-1 and he's already like throwing people who choose that.
See, I don't even care that he picked 3-1. It's like, but you've always been the 3-2 picker. Like, what's the deal here?
It took Ray 5 seconds. He's like, I'm already.
Jump Fence 10 minutes goes already the most vocal anti-3-1 we've ever had.
All right. So Hunter Dane is a 3-1 believer. It's still going to be a Chill Guys victory at the end of the evening, though. And now the Megalast, the speaker of Concrete, the speaker to Concrete, the speaker for Concrete, and the one who has a palette that transcends whatever meager peons that are on the desk or their co-caster, is saying a 3-2 Chill Guys victory.
To be fair, I feel like Megalast has been spot on the past, like, every time I'm on the desk. So I can't doubt it anymore. I can't doubt it anymore. It almost changed my conviction, Sam. That's how right Megalast has been. But I stuck to my guns. I stuck to my guns.
You know what? There is something to be said about that, right, Jeff? Even though we have someone who speaks to Concrete and gets the predictions correct out of that, a lot to be said. There's a lot to be said about sticking with your guns. Okay?
I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Listen.
I feel I'm going to be
we
wrong.
lost Ray.
But, you know, Ray's just scared.
No, I'm still here.
Ray's
I'm
too
still
scared.
Here. Give me a second. Give me a second. I got you guys. Hold on.
Oh my God. What is going on here?
no.
Okay, give it a second. Give it a second.
No.
Look at
There it
this.
is.
Hold on. This.
It's the streets. That's the streets,
Hold
y'all.
on. I'm trying to resize it.
That's a lot of concrete.
That's
a
the
lot.
streets.
That
This
is
is-
It is the streets.
This is
That
where
is-
Megalast gets all of the juice.
These are the streets that Megalast was talking
This
to.
is where she gets all of her wisdom.
You think we gotta ask her, but did she just like walk up to it and go, "Oh, great streets, what saith dost thou to me?"
Maybe we should ask her.
I agree. We have our casters on standby, so let's go ahead and bring them up here. Hunter Tane and Megalast. Ray, you're gonna rake Hunter Tane over the coals, right? You're this guy over here.
Yes,
3-1.
of course. Hunter. What?
Hey,
No 3-2. What is going on, buddy?
Hey, first of all, I'm gonna say this is my first 3-1 of the entire season. I've done
Exactly.
No 3-2s,
You're the
I've had a
3-2
couple
guy.
3-0s. I know I'm the 3-2 guy, but Megalast was cooking. I'm gonna let her cook. I'm gonna let her do her thing. I'm gonna stay as far away from that as I possibly can. I'm good.
Are you sure? Because she's been pretty good about it.
She has been.
I gotta ask, Hunter Tate, when you made this print, did you realize that Chill Guys have not had a single 3-1 in the entire season? It's never happened for this team.
It has not. It's been 3-0s and a couple of 3-2s as well. But you gotta look at those 3-2s a little bit. Like 2 of those 3 map vibes that they had were for Eat My Brownies, who, by the way, aren't even here in the playoffs anymore. The other one was the PTSU Falcons, who was a 4-4 team. It is clear this team has bled before. They're still undoubtedly the favorites. They should come in today and win. If they don't, It's very scary, but there's room for them to win a map. It's absolutely possible. Should they win? No, but I think there's room. I think there's the possibility, but it's just something we're going to have to wait and see.
Ray Q's going
Ray,
in and out.
man.
Oh, hey, Megalas is sorry. We meant to warn you about your upcoming concrete, your street coming on screen.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah,
my
that's,
question to you,
that's my.
Megalas, do you
go ahead,
do you
sir.
walk out there? Do you walk out to your street and you're like, oh, Gray Street? What do you have to say to me, Chill Guys versus?
Yeah, we actually have the full conversation. Me and the concrete.
Oh.
It's, you know, people walking by, they ask questions. I tell them that I'm conversing. I'm speaking with the voices, and generally they get it and they move along. Totally not in a rapid, scared fashion. Yeah, trust me. Listen, the streets they speak, and I think this match is going to be an interesting one.
You're saying, because you're also saying it's a 3-2, so your streets have ordained upon all of us that we're going the entire distance. It's still, at the end of the night, a 3-2 victory for Chill Guys. So they're going to continue their undefeated streak, but it's going to be one fought through and paid for in blood, Megalas?
In blood and whatever it needs to be. Now, something I want to point out behind the scenes that I think was really funny, when I went to start typing my pred, obviously Discord says person is typing. Ray immediately says, oh god, here comes Mega to ruin all of the preds with concrete. But no, listen, not even the concrete could go against the 9-0 team, right? I promised that regardless of anything, I would pred this team after their midseason win. There was a lot of things happening in the midseason that we don't need to get into right now, but there's just a bunch of chill guys. You can't go against it.
They're just chill. They're just chill.
I will say this though. I hope it happens because we have never had it happen yet, but we've never had back-to-back 5 mappers for EU and NA for SNO. So that would go crazy.
It's hey, anything is possible here in the great world of CGL Saturday Night Overwatch, and we may be looking at firsts. But before that happens, we actually got to see how the game is going to go and to see if that's actually going to be made possible. I'm going to leave things over with our casters, Hunter Tane and Megalas. Take us away for Chill Guys versus Infinity.
Well, they've left it off as well as they possibly could. Megalas, this is one of those matches that genuinely has some level of upset potential to it. Not necessarily, for Infinity to come in with a win, but show that they have a real possibility of being a team that can come in here and have a strong performance here in the playoffs. But they have to come out the gate and do it strong, because I did some investigation, Megalas. I took a look at all the maps that Show Guys had lost. All the maps that they had lost were all Control, and they were all over on Clash. And we're starting out right out the gate, going to Control, going over to another Peninsula, one of the weaker map types for them here. But all things considered, Megalas, we are pretty much stuck in a certain meta right now. And with OWCS this weekend, we seem to have a kind of a clear indication of the way things have been going.
Well, I think the great thing is it's Diamond. We don't have to read into the meta all too much here. Chill Guys, they've gone through a few different name changes, but you probably originally knew them, like I did, as Queen of Diamonds here. And they were, profiting off of that Junker Queen composition, being able to pilot it highly effectively, right? Junker Queen's still a very strong character, despite some recent, minor nerfs here that hinder you a little bit. I think Chill Guys, we kind of know what they're coming in with, right? They have all of that power behind them and everything. It's really going to be on Infinity, the ones that have to step up to the plate, right? If you're going to attempt to mirror Junker Queen, if you're going to try to pilot this meta we've been seeing, Auga, the Juno Brig, more than welcome to give it its fair shake, right? I believe in any team, if they're willing to scrim and put the hours in, you can master a comp like that. But there are some nuances to it, especially when you're playing against Junker Queen, that make you have to be very, very careful. Otherwise, your Malg is just going to fall over like it's a Roadhog.
Yeah, and that's a really big possibility in that situation. And we didn't think going into the situation that Junker Queen was going to be one of the main tanks played. I mean, she took that slight nerf. She was already in a spot where she was kind of teetering on the edge of meta and being someone that could be played a lot. But now we're seeing them a lot more. It's essentially, if you don't want to run the Malga, that's one of the best substitutes you can possibly run. So for both these teams, with us being in Diamond, it is kind of going to be more about that comfortability. But with what we have seen, we saw a lot of that Reaper, a lot of that Echo, both which at the Diamond League, you can play those characters very well. But we saw some other flexibility. You look at Twisted Minds, who came out on the Pharah, who pretty much dedicated the barrage to getting rid of the cage fight every single time, which is an effective way of going about it, all things considered. So there's still some rule or some range for skill expression here, but as you said, it's Diamond. There's no concrete reason why we think we're going to see absolute meta here, but you figure you watch OWCS, some teams are going to get some ideas.
Yeah, some ideas indeed. Now, granted, the asterisk I will put on Twisted Minds Faracom is you had this absolutely disgusting sicko human being named Quartz who could literally end fights before they could begin because he would just kill 3. If you've got a player that can do that, I'm all for it. I will gladly watch that. It's just, Quartz is a special breed of human. You can't get that everywhere, especially here in your Diamond games. But I think either way, right, when you're looking at these matchups, I think team synergy is going to be super, super important over individual pick potential, right? Because obviously any player can have their pop-off moment in this meta, but being able to sort of stack on top of each other, right? Where we're seeing these Reapers and Echoes get the most value is when they're on top of their Malga, right? If they're getting assisted with that Cardiac Overdrive, that's when the Reapers are really going in and doing the damage that they love to do. This Juno Brig obviously protecting each other a lot, but earlier today we did get to see some Baptiste actually work out really, really well as well. And I think if you have one of those like niche hero picks that's maybe a lot more comfortable to you, you can make it work as long as you have the confidence behind it.
I mean, yeah, 100%. That's going to be a big part of it as well, is that confidence going in. You don't have to come out here or run that exact meta, but you have to have the confidence to run whatever you are, because you said yourself, this is something that's still going to require a very good amount of coordination, more than some other combos we have seen over the course of that past year. You have to time things up very well between your Reaper and your Malga, using your speed ring correctly. It all has to go precisely well, because if it doesn't, it's very easy for something like your Echo, like your Reaper to get caught off when those cooldowns are gone. So it's one of those situations where you have to work together, you have to make it happen quickly. And if you're a Malga, you are looking to jump onto one of those supports, specifically if they're running the Brig, which if that Brig gets stomped on Megaless, they get turned into smoke. They are done. They are cooked. The amount of times I saw Rakatek get blown up and tossed to smithereens from one single charge was, astounding, I will say.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the other thing why the supports are so crucial right now, especially when you're dealing with the Juno meta where Orbital Ray is so oppressive. I promise, as long as these teams are aware of what's happening in the fights, Juno's going to be target number 1 every single time. We saw it a lot earlier with, the Malga as well as, some other tanks whenever they were able to come out. It's still just, the hero didn't matter. What mattered was the focus onto this backline, right? Being able to target the Juno, because, one of the best ways to stop Orbital Ray is just never let her use it. If you're constantly coming down on the Juno, making her run, evade, escape, she's not putting out that healing, she's not building that ult charge that's so crucial here. I feel like a lot of people, myself included, Overwatch Classic has made us realize, oh wait, ultimates do take a moment to build nowadays. And so every single percent matters, especially when you're in these intense fights that you see on Control.
Yeah, 100%. We see teams react in pretty much 2 different ways when it comes to that Juno ult coming out. One, which is the safe idea, which is basically jump the speed ring and just get out as fast as humanly possible. The other is pretty much a double down and use yours back as well, and from there, it kind of becomes a domino effect. We saw so many fights where there was, 5, 6, 7 ults used just because it's the way you have to win the fight in that situation. If you don't use it, you might end up falling over. But either way, Megaless seems that we do have some things figured out here. We know that DKK is going to be coming in over on DPS, it seems, and in this situation, Akham over on tank. So either way, getting into this, it's going to be intense. Both these teams going to pretty much find out what they mostly want to try to use here to get things started here today, because this is going to primarily be Brawl. So we should see if these teams favor the Malka style or maybe the Junker Queen style.
And it's important to note, right, that this first pick does come through at the hands of Chill Guys, right? They got to pick their fair share of the Control maps, as well as, a pick onto the opponent here. We're just laughing because the lobby on the other side, we can see things that y'all can't. The lobby on the other side just switched to Dorado.
Yeah, that's like, little on Dorado.
Little bit warmer than Antarctic Peninsula, I will say. But listen, lobby shenanigans aside, I mean, regardless of what you're really comfortable on, right? Brawl is going to be the name of the game, especially when you're working, and across Antarctic Peninsula. All 3 points really favor Brawl compositions, right? This is where you'd see a lot of Ramattra get played and things of that nature. And then sort of as the Brawl metas have evolved and shifted, it just sort of, comes with the tide what tank you are seeing. but we will actually have to see, as the first thing we actually get to look at all the penguins.
The penguins, I believe those are those temporarily are those emperor penguins in the front? Isn't that what the yellow stripe means?
You are asking the wrong person.
Well, you know what? While we're gonna see what we're gonna be running here, but I'm gonna look at a picture of an emperor penguin because I'm genuinely curious whether or not I'm correct on this, Megalaz. It turns out I am correct. It is a yellow stripe right under the teeth. So, good for me. I'm happy I'm correct. But one thing we have to see if we're correct about is obviously these comps, which, I mean, Megalaz, this is what we predicted. But to be fair, there's still nothing wrong with the Ramatra or the Zarya. I think they're still fair in regards and us playing a Diamond. This still kind of makes sense.
I think my biggest fear right now is Infinity having this double speed backline with the Zarya, right? Zarya, you normally want a lot more sustain in order to apply it. When you're playing this double speed, I mean, it means that you're going to want to go on Zarya, which is nice because you have the Reaper in tow as well here. But all it takes is one person getting walled off, you not having bubble at the right time, and they can go really badly.
Yeah, Ace is the one person you really have to watch out for in this situation because despite the fact they can be very tanky, they can have a lot of health, but this isn't like somebody, like most of these things that kind of have a get out of jail free card, you're able to back out and be able to kind of claim back a little bit of space. When that bubble is out, you are done. You are cooked. There's nothing you can do as DK gonna go on first and foremost. Ace is gonna get walled off. Ace almost undoubtedly gonna go down, and now point can start out for Chill Guys to get things started here. And this is trouble they're gonna have, Megalast. The moment you are caught out as Ace, if you don't have both those bubbles ready, there is a high percentage you're gonna die right there on the spot before your team can help you.
I mean, even if you have bubbles, you can get caught out. That's why I see Ace immediately go over to the Malga. I like this a lot more. Obviously, you can still get walled, but I think Infinity, with this double speed, they need more of an all-in approach, right? Everybody has to be with Ace wherever they go. And, I mean, you can absolutely do it, but a lot of teams have been doing to success, but we'll have to see if Infinity can do it.
Yep, waiting for the right time to go in for the charge. Gonna go a little wide on that one, but gonna cause a DK again. Getting cut out, unfortunately, very early in the situation. No cardiac overdrive to use either, so Ace is gonna have a really hard time staying up in the situation. And now, again, another fight just kind of over just like that. And as things are right now, Infinity's struggling to really get anything out of the game. To be fair, I think perhaps we're trying to take these angles a little too wide. They just need to be a little more straightforward, honestly.
Straightforward and on top of each other, right? You saw Ace go super, super wide, almost isolating themselves from the fight. DKK obviously not getting that same memo here. But again, it comes down to this composition. The double speed, you have to stay on top of each other here because, you know, you have no protection or anything otherwise, but you're pushing now into Chill Guys who has a Blizzard Annihilation. It's not going to be a good push.
Yep, gonna get stomped down. On there, gonna use it, but it's the Majax going out right there. Juno uses the ult as well. Red hoping to find something, keep Infinity alive in the situation, but Annihilation can be brought online right now. Both supports for Infinity super low, trying to help each other out, and eventually Leo is going to get forced to use their own copy, hopefully trying to get their own Annihilation online, but both teams are investing incredibly here. Megalast, neither of the teams want to lose this fight, and at this point, if you're Infinity, you can't afford to lose this. The point's going to flip back over. It's very much still alive right now, but at the end of the day, it is eventually going to be Chill Guys fighting back, taking back the point. And unfortunately, Megalast at 88%. When this flips back, a touch is very much up in the air.
I mean, it's going to be on Happy Rogue to touch entirely, right? And Happy Rogue, I mean, holding on to that sound barrier at some point in that fight, I'm sure it could have been invested to, you know, try to counter out Chill Guys' Sword Ultimates. Ultimately doesn't come through here. Now might have to be used in desperation to get to the point, and they can't.
Yeah. Almost there, though. We are going to get a beat's going to come out, unfortunately. Rough situation right now. Unfortunately for DKK, they don't get their ult online. Ace might just barely get their ult online. Unfortunately, despite that fact, it's only going to find so much. They're eventually just going to have to slap it down and try. Unfortunately, it's just going to careen them in with everybody else trying to find something. He's getting a lot of health back. Unfortunately, it's just not going to be enough. 100-13 going to start us out here. A great start for Chill Guys, who, again, just playing very on top of each other, playing very confident right now, and showing immediately why this team is one of the favorites in this division.
Yeah, and their synergy is being shown off as well here. And it's unfortunate, right? Because I feel like Infinity, if they can be on top of each other, there's definitely some of these fights that they could absolutely be winning. But, you know, maybe they're just sort of underestimating themselves already prematurely. Like, beautiful Majax there. But a late sound barrier from Happy Rogue. I mean, you almost sort of wonder, hey, what if you were just on Brig the whole time anyway? What could have happened then? But, you know, rounds like that, if you are the side of Infinity, you just have to put behind you. Whereas if you're Chill Guys, hey, listen, you're more than happy with that. You can continue playing your Ramatra style here. And Infinity, sticking with the double speed, but now has a venture in play to try to help maybe contest some of these angles and maybe stop DKK from going in too far.
Yeah, I think honestly Venture's a very fun pick. I think Venture can get a lot done. The question is whether or not he's going to get anything done in this specific situation right now. It's already, Show Guys are way up there right now. Can't really push up as Xerneas is super low on health already. Gonna see if they can push them out. Unfortunately, DKK is very much in there alone in this situation, so already down to the 4v5 right now. Camelong already having a lot of health. Unfortunately, it's getting annihilated. Ace manages to pick up 2 going down like that, and that's going to be a great way to make this fight their own. The point eventually going to flip in their favor. So trying to clean things up here, chasing the rogue, but eventually will be able to take the point. That's a good example. They lose somebody, but then they all go in together. They pile drive in. It works out really well, and that's a great comeback on that fight.
And I'd love to, see more of them going in together, right? Like DKK, I don't know if it's just sort of, wrong calls or what have you, but just being on the same page could make all of the difference right now. Because Infinity having to play already down 1 in a fight is never fun, but playing 5v5 with this style where they're going forward could be great for them.
Yeah, 100% could be. Alder gonna move out there, still has that wall ready to go to expend for this fight. So you see with DKK kind of just hanging around, gonna go in, I'll drive down, gonna catch on to a couple of people, not gonna get rid of anybody. Cardiac Overdrive still online, but DKK pretty much giving their life to get rid of 2, and now this is where you need to just try to find that Juno and force them out of here. They're gonna get pulled back, both of them sitting at half health right now. You need to find that Juno in this situation, make sure Cam can go down to be able to take care of both those things, and now Infinity playing much cleaner this time around here, but ultimates are coming around the corner for both teams.
Yeah, and these ult fights, it's always going to be chaotic, right? Obviously, the main thing you're looking to is Orbital Ray. Both teams are getting close to it, and it's always an impactful thing. I think the next after that is going to be this Blizzard, right? We didn't see it come to fruition on that first round of the Icebreaker here, but, now that we are on the sub-levels, maybe if this Blizzard can be placed over to the point, it can be a lot more destructive.
Yeah, I guess they're just going to force them to drop down on the point. Right now, I was going to say, if I'm Leo, I'm trying to drop on the copy and go on the Ramatra, just work with my guy, but they're going to beat instead, and now they're in here, and now they're just sitting ducks in this corner. This is the worst possible place you could be, and right now, you need to back out or just go all in. You have to make that choice, and it's going to be made. The cage fight going to be engaged. A free is going to be thrown in. Should it result likely in the end of the fight here, but it's still back and forth, and they're dedicating a lot to this fight, Megalast. DKK is still alive. Hoping to find something right now, but it's currently a 2v2. Xerneas needs to go down if they want to have any chance of winning this. Unfortunately, they're sitting at half. They're getting low. They will get rid of them, and eventually, looks like they're going to flip things back in their favor, but the Annihilation's getting expended as well. Again, both these teams not wanting to go down. Unfortunately, it's going to get thrown away. You manage to trade out that Orbital Ray, but it's going to flip back 75% on the board and counting. 1 fight potentially left.
I mean, there were so many ultimates in that fight that I don't think needed to be invested that ended up being thrown in. So now, after it's all said and done, you're going to have Rally versus the Echo duplicate here. I mean, a dupe onto the Ramatra having 2 tanks on the field is going to be devastating for Chill Guys to try to live through, but luckily they have that Rally to maybe give them the extra sustain.
Yep, they're going to go in on this situation right now. You need to try to go for this tank. You need to try to build up to the Death Blossom if possible right now. Facing down the Juno. Make sure to push them away as possible. Hollander's already down copy. Not going to fight as much value as you would hope for. Reverend has managed to get a 3K. Make it the 4. Hoping to clean it up. The 5K going in their favor. Cleaning it up. Keeping them alive here on sub level. And oh my goodness, Megalas. That's a way to win a fight.
Absolutely right. I feel like it was starting to not go Chill Guys' favor here. The rally was expiring and nothing had died yet, but finally the Blossom was securing the kills. And that's, a little bit of the concern when you're on the Reaper Tracer since Hollander switched off of the May. You lack a lot of actual bursting damage here. It really is just when these Hellfire Shotguns from the Reaper can go to town. So got to see more of that from Chill Guys.
Yeah, unfortunately this fight might be over before it's even really begun. Already have lost 2, and now you just need to die, maybe get some ultra right now, see if you can get rid of Reavers. He will be able to right now. And now Ace, he's just trying to focus just on surviving right now. The Pulse Bomb ready to go. Beat not quite there right now. Eventually we're going to see the drops coming through. Ace still kicking right now, using that Cardiac Overdrive right now. But a Pulse Bomb could send the Kree off the side. They're getting pushed back. And now if this sticks, this is going to be devastating because Megalast, we're already at 85% coming up here. And both teams need to set up for this final fight.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that Ace or Happy Rogue didn't go down there is a miracle that Infinity needed right now, but it is going to be final fight. Point pressure is going to be key here as ultimates are starting to build across the board.
Yeah, they're going to dive in, try to see if you can find Xerneas in this situation, but ults are coming up online. Everyone getting low right now, super low, but unfortunately, Red is going to get caught out. Orbital Ray online. This could be the cleanup here. Happy Rogue has the beat. He's got to come out. Not going to get hit with the C9 now. DKK is here on the scene. Needs to try to bring this one back. They might be the only hope remaining. Unfortunately, hope is scarce to find in these parts. We're going to see the 2-0 getting things started here today. Chill guys bringing it strong, bringing back the point here. It looked for a while, Megalast, that we were going to go to all 3 of the sub points here, but no, the amazing 5k by Reverts to bring it back here. And unfortunately, when you're in the situation of Infinity, Chill guys just kind of had their ults a little bit earlier ready to go in that last fight.
Well, yeah, I mean, it really comes down to just how they played that, right? Where you had that super chaotic fight in the middle where, sure, Infinity was able to kind of keep control and keep hold of the point after flipping it back, but really it was just so chaotic that you ended up having to invest way more here. Like, look at this, right? When that Death Blossom comes through, Infinity's ult bank is absolutely depleted. Like, not even just, oh, you know, we have a few percent before we're towards something. They just have nothing to work with here. So when you're taking a look at these stat lines, it tells a tale of, obviously, Chill guys being able to come away with the win here. But I mean, Revert's 13 final blows. That's ridiculous.
That is a very high amount, and of course, Camelon being able to crack into that 10k damage area. I mean, honestly, I think every player did really well, all things considered. Unfortunately, it's really tough to look at the 9 deaths over at DDK on Red is a hot frag. It's an unfortunate situation, but again, we saw the ability of both these teams being able to fight back. But the one thing we really had to look at, and the one thing we really look at nowadays, is that tank battle. The tank is very important of being able to open fights and essentially stay alive. And seeing the comparison, there are honestly a lot of comparisons between them, and outside of deaths, there isn't any massive differences between them.
No, but I mean, the deaths is pretty much everything, right? I mean,
Yes.
Having your tank be in the fight more consistently, right? Because could you imagine, right? You win more of those fights if you're Ace, right? Not only are all of your numbers going up when you're already comparable to what Camelon is doing, but you're able to, contribute more to the fight. There's so much that obviously comes with that dying less thing, but ultimately that does come down to team fight wins. And like we saw on that first point of Icebreaker, there were some synergy issues for sure happening on the side of Infinity. So hopefully they can, take this time, chat to each other in between map 1 and 2 here before they pick our second map and sort of get back on the same page, because I don't think it's, a hopeless situation, right? They definitely showed that they can get some good fights in against Chill guys, but right now Chill guys is just beating them purely on the fact that they're in sync.
Yeah, they are in sync, but everyone's able to kind of make their own play, make things happen. We saw very much the willingness of every single player being willing to play scrappy as well. Everybody was willing to kind of stay in that fight, and obviously a lot of fights are dedicated to, like, okay, if you lose somebody first, typically, you're going to win that fight if you get the first pick. But a lot of these fights turned into 4v4s. Most of them came down to like 2v2s and 2v3s that kind of went a bunch of different ways. It was very scrappy between these teams. And that's honestly what we should expect between these two teams here today. Again, the clear favorites within Chill guys, but Infinity clearly has something to prove, clearly wants to get away with a big win. And if not that, prove that they are still a force to be reckoned with and could make an amazing lower run bracket. But it's something we're going to have to see. And Megalast, it seems that Infinity was doing a little bit of homework here, because we are going immediately into Clash. Again, the other game mode that Chill guys has lost on multiple occasions. And at that point, you're kind of just playing this, really hoping you come in with this win. Because if you don't, I'm not sure what is really left on the table to try to take in.
And I mean, it's two-sided, right? Because obviously you are getting to go to Clash. Like you were saying, Chill guys, this is one of, the modes that they've been the weakest on throughout the season. Mm-hmm. But by picking Clash here, right, you're also denying any pick of Flashpoint heading forward. So no New Junk City or Servaso, right? Both maps that absolutely favor any Queen compositions in case you're looking for that more standard straight-up brawl match. So I think there's like a two-sided advantage here for Infinity in that regard. But now they actually have to deliver, right? And what are we going to end up seeing from them? Is it going to continue to be the Malga look? Are they going to try to bring that Reaper back into the fold here? Potentially, we've seen some teams profit off the Genji, but maybe the Echo just might still be the comfort pick for Infinity. Only time will tell.
Yeah, it's honestly gonna be a bit of a toss-up. I think with us being at the run of this, I think you can go with Echo or Reaper, but you need to be aware of when each character is gonna be better in certain scenarios. I think Reaper and Echo can be very effective there in the center, but I think Reaper, especially in that situation, especially when we're looking at the aspect of when we are playing in that center point, or frankly, any of the endpoints as well, you're gonna find a lot more use out of these ultimates because you go over to B and D. Those play very differently from the other points. There's a lot of different high ground that you pretty much are forced to play upon and engage from. So it's something that we're going to have to see and see how they want to go about it. But Megalast, one thing we do have to see as well is that we got a couple of different substitutions coming in. Salty and that Granny going to be coming in over on the side. And that is, I will say that's very interesting. I mean, we don't normally see teams make multiple substitutions in this situation, but there has to be something kind of cooking in this situation because what do you realistically change if you're not just going to run the same like Ramacho style composition? That's the question.
I mean, normally subs, like you said, there has to be a rhyme or reason to it. Nothing truly should stand out here, though, for these substitutions, simply because this is something that Chill Guys has done all season long, right? They're a very deep roster. I think 10, 11 players signed. So they generally do just flex people around. They let people be map specialists, if you will. So we will have to see exactly, how that ends up going out. Infinity right now, they are hovering that double speed again. Okay, I was going to say the double speed works specifically with Junker Clean because then it becomes triple speed and you're going fast. So the Brigand play should be a lot more stable, help Red as a hot fry live a lot longer, whereas Joe Guys might actually walk out on the Reinhardt here versus the Malga. I mean, this is going to be a lot of shield holding, but then you're also going to be looking for Granny to land these anti-nades onto Ace to sort of deter the Malga from just running you over. So it'll be an interesting dynamic to see.
Yeah, Cassidy might have unintentionally been one of the best DPS to run in this current scenario, walking into what is essentially going to be two DPS that the Cassidy has a good opportunity to really counter. If you catch them with the stun, you should be able to effectively take both of them out here. But we'll see the be brought in. Nade is ready, but the boom is going to be used, and the nade's going to come out. Not going to catch onto anybody, but it doesn't matter because they're just going to get ran down. Ace gets slapped, just gets booped off. The rest of the team has no choice but to simply fall over. But the fight's still online as the point is slowly ticking away.
I mean, that's a beautiful thing right there, right? That boop, it removes Ace from the fight without having to try to burn through the 750 HP Malva health pool for sure here. Nice little Tracer tap, but yeah, you're ultimately going to have to give that up and already over to point the Infinity has at least set themselves up here, surely, but they can't get sped on like this. They're getting close to a shatter.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, you still have to try to act first in this situation. You cannot be scared. Like that Granny eventually gets taken out. But Kemalung has that shot ready to go. You have to think of whether or not you want to try to use it. But at this point, it might be a little risky to really try to in this situation. I think with your Lucio being chased down, it's Vert hoping to eventually be caught out. Looks like they will. And now the point has unlocked. It's just going to be Kemalung in this situation, trying to get out, but it's going to get stomped down, taken out. So Infinity going to start taking over the point here. Needs to put some bodies on, but realistically, should be able to take, but they really should have more than one on right now.
I mean, yeah, you should have more than one, yeah. Will Jill Guys actively attempt to try to get back in here now that they have the respawns? It seems like that will be the case.
I don't understand why
They shatter.
Oh, comes online. Is going to catch on to 3. Happy Row going to get deleted. Ace hoping to find something in the background. Ace doing their darndest to try to stay alive right here. Pretty much just sitting in the face right now. Got the ults being adjusted. But it's a hot fry is going to invest in the situation. It looks like it might eventually be the undoing. It's going to be expanded at the end of the day. Megalast, that right there is why you put 3 on the point. They likely would have taken it. Now instead, they're probably going to be down 2-0 and facing already having Chill Guys on their final point.
I mean, yeah, wow. Again, right, the Reinhardt being able to come in with the Earth Shatter there, just absolutely massive. There's no shield, nothing that can really deter it on the side of Infinity. They just had to accept hitting the floor here. And now, this Tracer.
Rough situation right there, but Tracer is going to be able to survive right now. Nano going to be used right now. Eventually going to get forced to go back in. Is Kemalung, and we're going to get pulled in. Going to have at least 3 or 4 people pulled in, but Reverence has already gotten rid of Ace, so now you've lost every little value that you can right now. DKK is going to find one, going to invest in Deadeye, going to eventually even out the fight, and with that evening out, we should see them be able to take over this point fully. But that got scary for a moment there in that situation. Even so, Chill Guys is going to have 3 ultimates, and I think most importantly, Camelon Greg already having another Shatter online.
I mean, you highlighted it there perfectly, right? The Show Guys just got to trade a Nano Boost for Rally, Cage Fight, and Deadeye. I mean, you'll take that any day of the week here. Somehow, Infinity has to find a way to live through this plethora of ults that Show Guys has built up here. And, you know, obviously easier said than done because there's no real mitigation. Again, it is simply just going to have to be able to kite them.
Yeah, and somehow Happy Row gets caught with that kind of in the after effects, but Pin's going to come through. Camelong is in a really rough situation. It's trading back and forth right now, but Salty is on the scene, gotten rid of one. Needs to try to find rid of a second right here. Trying to track down the Tracer right now. Unfortunately, not looking like it's quite going to happen here. Leo got a second to the name. Is the 1v1 on the payload right now, hoping to clean things up. Is eventually going to get some care, but Leo's got the 3K, and now they're going to keep the bodies on the cart. Infinity realistically should be able to take this time around.
And that's exactly what Infinity needed, right? I mean, it was sloppy. It was not the cleanest fight, but they are going to get re-engaged on again.
Yeah, and for some reason this isn't that surprising now. As they're going to go for it right now. They do have a beat coming up online here right now. Reaper still have the ability to go in. Unfortunately, they're not touching. And they won't. And now at this point, as Infinity, you can back out a little bit. You can just say, all right, this is fine. You can regroup and set up for next touch because DKK is going to go off the edge in this situation, take the reset. But with the way the spawns are, they do have a re-engagement setup, and importantly, they do have that orbital ray to bring in with it.
And like you said, that orbital ray is massive. Nothing on the side of Chill Guys. Pretty much it's going to be reliant on a heavenly anti-nade to come through and apply onto Infinity here. But obviously it's going to be easier said than done for the Granny.
Yep, we're going to see going through. Again, again, you just see the boot coming through. Ace is just getting taken out of the fight constantly, so they're not going to find the value off this orbital ray. They're going to get positional advantage, which is nice, but now you're not going to have an answer for this Nano, because Granny just needs to focus on staying alive, getting this Nano out right now, but Reverts has gone down, and Ace going to get traded out. You might not even need the Nano even more at this point right now. You're just hoping on stalling out on the point, trying to find some kind of pick right now. Granny would be an excellent pick to find, because you get multiple people that are low. Happy Roo is just going to let go of the beat. It's going to catch on the two, even though Red is a hot fry is down. They are still going through. Need to get rid of the Ana. It's so imperative that Granny goes down here. They're trying to pinch her in right now, but unfortunately the point is slipping over, and I mean, make it last, these two teams are absolutely chaotic in this situation. Unfortunately for Ace, they might be in a little too deep for their own good right now as DKK needs to find something here.
Finds the shield, but not much else, and now the shatter!
And that is going to be devastation on this spot. It's going to get a credit for a 2K on that one. Swings are going to go away. Looks like advantage should eventually go back to Chill Guys, but I mean, Leo is still there in the backline doing a ton of damage in this situation, and with all the time that has been stalled out, the question is, does Ace attempt to go in?
No, I think you have to give this one up. Set yourself up for the next fight, because I think the hard part is done, at least for the time being. The Granny over to the Moira means no more anti-nades, right? That makes Infinity's job much easier heading forward, right? Especially seeing as Chill Guys has also dumped their entire ult bank, right? So wait for the point to unlock if you're Infinity, take your time, and then drop the cage fight when it matters and win the fight.
Yep, 100%. A very important fight coming up here right now. Unfortunately, not able to find Bert in that situation. Cage fight gonna be used in this situation. Unfortunately, it's not gonna find the value you're hoping for. You're just a sitting duck right now with your Ace. Full sum gonna be used, cleaning things away. It looks like it is gonna move to a 4-2 setting, going on to map point now. And now things are getting scary. DKK gonna go over to the Venture, and now for Infinity, you are just praying on the open array, but at the same time, you're praying that you don't have to use it this fight.
I mean, see, that's the tricky thing, right? Is even if Infinity wins this one in their spawn, they, you know, there's still 2 more points that have to come after that factor, and they have to be able to set themselves up. Chill Guys can truly just stack ultimates till Kingdom Come and win it out that way. It's going to be difficult.
Yep, they're going to use Orbital Ray, going to force them out of here, but that's also going to be a little bit early also to consider right now. You need to find a pick right here now. Unfortunately, again, it's just pulling the trigger a little too early, but it's going to get taken out. DKK, the DPS is going to be able to get through here. Leo helping out. We do see someone touch this point right now, trying to do something, but it's looking like at this point they should be able to keep bodies on the point. I'm begging you, because now you're giving time for them to re-engage. Hello?
Nobody's capping.
I need a counter next time for these things. Like, that's crazy. They could re-engage if they wanted to, but it looks like they're not gonna.
I mean, they lose their Rhine. Like, Ace thankfully finds the pick super late into that one, getting Camelon. But again, like, Chill Guys, again, they were allowed to just stack ultimates, so now you know, unless this pulse bomb from Leo Leopard comes up massively here, or you know, Infinity can find ways to sort of stall out the point without fully committing onto it and getting caught by this shatter, this pulse, what have you. You know, their task is very hard.
Yep, Shatter could end the game. That Granny is alive right now. Needs to be kept alive, though, sitting at 1. Eventually be taken out. Shatter is ready to go here. See the pulse bomb ready to go. It's going to catch on. Is it going to get rid of them? They are sitting at 1. The beat's going to come online. It's not going to catch on the Salty, but Shatter's going to come down. Going to catch something too. Beat going to be in just in time to keep them alive. And now the cleanup starting to come through right now. It's just Lucio. It's Vert going to get forced out. And Megalas, we are going down to the very end on this one. It looks like down to the final point. But ult advantage still very much in Chill Guy's hands.
It is, and I worry about this coalescence, right? Being able to pierce through the cage, right? Heal anybody who's caught in it without catching the Moira in it herself is going to be a big factor here, as well as, you know, Salty or Reverts can end this with a single pick once the point unlocks. That's going to be the crucial thing, though. If Joe Guys goes too early with these ultimates, then it's going to give Infinity a chance to get back into this.
Yep, you have to take your time in this Infinity. You don't have a choice. You have to. Pulse Bomb going to be essentially yeeted in and finds nothing in the situation, but Camelon kind of in there a little deep, to be quite honest with you. That shield's getting eliminated, and they're going to get eliminated too eventually, but Ace and Cam both sitting super low, and eventually it is going to be Cam getting the better. It's the Blade online. DKK needs to find something right now, and they have managed to find one. They're helping find the second right now. It's just supports on the scene here. And now Infinity is starting to take rule right now, and Show Guys need to find a touch here, but it's going to be so difficult.
I mean, so unbelievably difficult, but if you can manage some sort of stall touch, right, you're going to have an overclock to work with, and here's the reinforcements.
Yeah, but it's here, ready to go right now. Everybody's back, but we're going to see everything come online. Leo and DKK coming online. Pulse Bomb going to stick for some extra measure here, cleaning up Reverts. Is not going to be able to do alone the situation. Eventually, going to be taken away, and that's going to be their map right there. Going to a tie. Infinity showing that they are here to play.
Attention desk, you have been boomed.
Boomed.
It has happened for the second time today. You have been boomed.
Should have talked to the concrete.
Should have talked to... I don't know about all that now. I don't know if map 5... We can worry about that if we get to map 5, but I think right now, just being perfectly honest, Leo Leopard is your ticket forward if you are an Infinity. This dude is absolutely disgusting on what they do. DKK, I would love if we stopped playing Mystery Heroes. I think like switching every single, like what we saw, Cassidy, Venture, Genji. I think there was an Echo at some point. Like you just clearly were just sort of fumbling, looking for something. And it just, when you lack a consistency, right, it can hinder your team quite a lot here. But we'll have to see how Infinity chooses to approach forward. Meanwhile, Chill Guys now has control of, you know, the map and mode, and their worst two modes, like you said, Hunter, are out of the way. So everything is definitely going to be in their favor from here on out.
Yeah, it definitely is going to be, because now these were the two map types that you had the biggest advantage on in this situation. And now, again, this is where things get rough. But the thing is that you've proven that you can go in, you can beat them on this composition. I mean, first of all, Cam trying to play out of their mind in this situation. Unfortunately, that beat from Happy Roche coming in really good in that situation. And both teams fighting scrappy up to the very end here. But, again, it just comes down to those ultimates being ready. It's the same situation that Fendi was in before, pretty much in their favor on that final fight. So, like I said, going to be the 1-1 in this situation, and the numbers don't really lie in this situation. First of all, that Granny managing to hit 10k healing. I know they're on Moira for a lot of the time, but that's still an incredible thing to see here in the situation. And honestly,
that's a flood of deathlift, by the way, for Leo.
That is.
It's 18. That's a deadlift for Leo.
That's insane.
Like I said, Leo Leopard is your ticket forward. Like, bit of a freak on the Tracer here, but, you know, obviously you have to look beyond that, right? And I think something that was very interesting about this map is Camelon was on the Reinhardt, right?
Yeah.
A hero we have not seen really in these brawl metas simply because of, you know, you got to shield bot a little bit more. It's a little bit more difficult here, but it can help mitigate some of that Malga's pressure, right? When you're just holding shield for a while, but your team has to take advantage of it. And so when you're looking at the stats here, it does show exactly that, right? Camelon just had to hold shield more, deal with a lot more pressure with that 13k damage block per 10 minutes. I mean, doing what they could for their team, but ultimately the Malga just found more value.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's kind of the case for them in that scenario. And again, doing as much as you realistically can in that situation as a Reinhardt. Because that's the thing. It's really hard to stop the Malga in any situation. You have to act prematurely, or you need to engage on them after they've already dove into your backline, unfortunately. So in this situation, there's a lot of different routes you can take. You could decide to just basically trade backlines and push with your own DPS line into the back and just try to find the trade there. Because at the end of the day, if that cardiac overdrive comes out early, you could probably beat the Malga in the tank 1v1 at that point. But either way, it seems like we have found a little bit of an answer right now if you're Infinity in this situation. And Megalas, they have to be feeling some confidence. You go in, you manage to face this team. By the way, from what I know, from what I researched, the very first time these teams are managing to kind of face each other outside of, like, I believe, well, we'll come back to that information later because I'm not going to gaslight myself into saying I'm right or wrong. But what I can say is, Megalas, we're going to bring this over to a little bit of a break here. But as things are right now, it's even up, tied 1-1. Stick around to see if we might get ourselves another Map 5 banger. It is a close affair to get things started here today in the NA region. Currently a 1-to-1 matchup from one of the biggest favorites here in the NA Diamond Tournament, Chill Guys and Infinity, who came out swinging over on the second mech, managing to take Anubis, and now Megaless were confirmed to go to at least a fourth map in this situation, and now, I mean, this is what we were kind of hoping and expecting out of this team too, coming and swinging, kind of refining what we kind of saw on the first map, because we saw little bits and pieces that looked brilliant, but it wasn't quite as composed. On that last map there, on Throne of Anubis, it looked much more composed, and this is the kind of team that we have been seeing throughout the season.
Yeah, granted, you know, I'm going to put a little bit of an asterisk on this while we are tied 1-1. That Throne of Anubis was far closer than it had any right to be when you're Amalga playing against the Reinhardt. But hey, win's a win. That's what the mentality should be here. Now we are heading into our next map pick. Chill Guys got their pick of the board here. They're taking us to Hybrid. Eichenwald is going to be the name of the game here. And, I mean, there's a variety of stuff you could play. I feel like even in this Malga meta, you still can, like, work some of the Sigma comps on first point. Once you get over to third point, yeah, you're really going to be brawling pretty much the entire time. Ironically, he's not available, but I've been enjoying Hazard on this map. I think there's a lot of fun little goofy things you can do with getting to the high ground across the points. But unfortunately, that might have to be for another tournament.
Yeah, well, you know, if only the thing was a little longer, we would have ourselves a Hazard tournament, but we'll probably get there at some point when the season comes through. But either way, Eichenwald, it is, I'll say it's one of those maps, Megaless, where I think there's a large variety of what you can run here. I do think there are certain things that are obviously better in some places. A lot of the brawl is very much better on the third point, while things are a little more pokey, a little more dive-based, can be more effective on second, even first to an extent. But what they will see again is another set of changes here. We got Cloud9 coming in over on tank, and then we got Locos over in on the support. This is now the second map in a row in which there have been multiple substitutions for Chill Guys. And now at this point is, I mean, obviously we see the Winston there, so obviously there might be some aspect of dive being used here. But, I mean, Megaless, as a tank player myself, seeing tanks kind of go in and out very much like this, I've never seen that done in a way like this in any recent times. And, I mean, at that point, how do you synergize as a team if you're swapping your tank out pretty much every single map?
I mean, you don't, realistically, right? Unless they all somehow developed the same exact shot calling method. Even then, right? Like, you're also changing a support player every single time, so we're working with a complete, you know, potential different dynamic there as well. This defense is interesting. So we have a Mercy unironically in play because you have a damage boost options between the Ashe and the Echo here. But you're playing a Diva instead of a traditional Sigma here, so, you know, a little bit more peel potential, being able to fly around, especially on this first point. But, you know, I don't really know how exactly it's going to go. Meanwhile, Infinity, it's going to be just a Widowmaker. It's going to get pulled back into spawn, and I'm assuming
Salty, don't lose your head here. Salty, don't lose your head.
Ooh, the auto almost did, though. You were warning the wrong person.
Oh, God. I was scared for them, but, so Megaless, they're going back to this face pass composition again, but they're bringing it with the Genji, so the fast pace kind of makes sense this time around, but if they're going into, like, the Echo, Mercy, and the Diva, this is still going to be really difficult to just speed in on.
Exactly, right? And the speed engage, it has to be very dedicated, and it has to know where it's going.
Why?
The Ace is already so low!
What? Yeah, Ace said, nah, I don't care about the back line, and somehow lived long enough to help take care of somebody with Leo, but it's a 4v4. You're down your tank right now. You're just hoping to find something right now in the situation. DKK eventually is going to go down, but they're trading out, oddly enough, in the situation, and Granny, hoping to find something on the punch, is just swinging into the air right now as the res is going to be used. Get reverts back in there right now as Leo's just hoping on trying to live for now and take a bit of a reset.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, Infinity's, like, almost at a dive comp. Like, they're right there. They're on the teetering edge of it, and then there's just a Malga. And I'm not really understanding what the Malga is supposed to do, especially into what Chill Guys is running here. Unless you're just going to hard focus Cloud on this Diva, try to get out of the defense matrix, and then just gun them down until they lose mech here. So I feel like Chill Guys, they have the better composition on paper as long as, you know, they can keep their Ana up and safe.
Yeah, and I mean, Leo's gonna go down instantly, so the fight's pretty much cooked from there. And here's the situation immediately that I think we both kind of recognize is this comp isn't realistically going to work into the D.Va comp. It just isn't. They already have multiple ults online in the situation, and it's hard to really dive anybody outside the Ana who is strategically nowhere near the front line.
She doesn't have to be,
Oh,
right?
never
She
mind.
can just be any.
No. That's beautiful. They eventually do get taken out here. It's back to the 4v4 right now. We see a copy ready to go here. Ace has gotten rid of one, helping things out right now, but it's back to a 3v3, and keep that in mind, the situation. Locos is very much still alive, has the Valkyrie ready, is likely going to set up for the rest here. Leo trying to see if they can hope to get something. Unfortunately, the fight's kind of coming to an end already in the situation. Not even a single tick in their head right now as Ace is just barely getting ready to crack over 60%, as they are going to get a single tick, so they get something on the board here, as the fight is very much alive, Megalaz, but they need to find some kind of pick right now, because eventually it needs to go in their favor, or things like that are going to happen. Blade's coming online, it's going to get rid of one, going to try to get rid of two. Happy Rogue is still there right now, going to dash up. Mercy's getting super low right now. Unfortunately, they're not going out, and after that, I mean, that was their chance right there. Now, it's going to be so difficult to pull back from here.
I mean, difficulty is going to be the name of the game here. That Lucio, Happy Rogue, happy to escape with their life. To be fair, you were able to force out some good ults, right? The duplicate, the Nano Boost isn't online yet, as well as the Valkyrie, right? So, Infinity, you have a small window where you do have an ult advantage here with this sound barrier. If you can get your orbital ray and get in quick, this could be your opening.
Yeah, it very much could be, and here they go. It's going to be UC. The B is going to be engaged right now, and now it might be a little too late. It's really much a risk to go for, but they're going to do it. They're going to go in hot on the situation 4v4 right now to see if you can catch the pulse bomb right now. You're looking, and you're going to catch it right on the Ana. Nice job in that situation. Leo's still kicking right now as eventually the Bob going to get displaced. Second tick going to come through here, and right now, Vladimir is going to get taken out of the mech. Needs to get deleted before they get the opportunity to kind of stay alive here. You need to pincer in on somebody here, and it looks like with those rockets, they should be able to clean things out, but they're going to triple down in the situation, essentially. But they still haven't found the remake D.Va. Eventually, they will be able to do so, and now it's Locos looking for a res, but nowhere to be found, so Infinity is going to make it through. Has to invest a big ultimate to do it, and now, after all that finally breaking through, there is not a lot of clock on that, or not a lot of time on that clock.
And not only that, but their Chill Guys comp is only going to get more oppressive, right? If we can get over to third point, Infinity's comp definitely suits better there. But like, look at this, Reaper's just going to town.
Yeah, that's pretty much the opposite of what you wanted to happen, because that's a 4K now for Reverse in that situation. The fight's pretty much over, and again, I'm really struggling to see why this is the optimal comp anymore, Megalaz. It's not working, and I feel like the only reason it worked last time is just because you had the ultimates.
I can't explain it. I just can't explain it. There's nothing to be explained here. Chill Guys, they have a massive ult advantage. As long as they don't overcommit into this fight, they're gonna have tons of ults for the rest of this round.
Ooh. Oh, that's a really great way to get rid of that ultimate instantly right there. But Cloudmon gonna get the nano right now. Needs to trying to find a target to go into. They're getting nano boosted and being given the boost from the Mercy. That is an incredible amount of damage to be taken right now. But Cloudmon is going to get their heal secure right now. Right side, that card is still slowly moving along here as eventually Cloudmon is eventually going to have to help out. Reverse getting another final blow in the situation. Might have their own deadlift coming on the way here when we look at the stats later. But either way, I mean, Infinity is still struggling. They'll have their ultimates, but again, this is so tough to walk into.
And with a minute on the clock, finally Infinity make the swap that I've been begging for. The D.Va is here.
Oh no.
You need to be able to peel and things of that nature here. Moira as well, maybe just adding that extra layer of survivability, but I don't know if it might be too little too late.
Well, the thing is, I don't blame that, because they were just getting chased down on Gino every single time. I can't even blame it. Now they're going to go for the play here, looking to try to slash up here, trying to find something. Beat's going to be able to be brought in, bring them a little bit extra sustain here, but unfortunately, it's not going to result in anything quite yet. Happy Rogue is going to help everybody keep up with the beat right now, but DKK eventually going to get drawn out, and now we're back to the 4v4. The cart's slowly going back to moving along here. Unfortunately, Ace is going to be out of the mech, and this fight is going to very much come to an end once again. 20 seconds on the clock. That's how Promor's Happy Rogue needs to live right now.
I mean, needs to live, able to live. Those are two very different things.
They almost went sicko mode right there onto Salty. But now, 10 seconds. Touch is down to Leo in the situation. Why are you standing still?
I mean, one of those two is getting res, but still, I mean, that's an absolutely insane thing here. This could open it up as overtime starts. The payload's going to start moving, but this high ground defense has been completely dismantled for the time being.
Yeah, now the Mercy's sitting at 1. It's going to get blown apart, and that's so unfortunate. Now Revis is going to go over to the Pharah. That 2K pulse bomb going to open things up, but Ultimate's on the board right now for Chill Guys. Nothing on the board for Infinity. Closest thing you're on is to a bomb, which might be the most useless ult out of the 5 you currently have, but it could be good for zoning things out, but it's important to bring this fight in. The pharmacy has come onto the scene right now. Bomb's going to come up in the air from the D.Va right now. Going to be able to Kalo away right there as Red is going to go down. DKK, though, is going to trade things back out, but the spawns are going to be way closer as Ace has got rid of another. You're getting super low right now. The D.Va's going to get forced out of the situation. Nade not going to find a whole lot here right now as you're trying to support the Nano. Could be the undoing of the squad right now. Hoping to get online, but it's not going to touch in time. They don't even get the Nano out to everybody. They're going to clean things up. Just the Mercy remaining on the scene here, and now Infinity off the back of that 2K pulse on the fact of demeching the D.Va just before the Nano was ready to go. They are going to take that second point and give themselves some extra life.
Infinity, I think, needs to build a shrine to Leo Leopard somewhere. I think, like, this Tracer is actually opening it up so many different times here, so many different fights that just would not be the same without their presence in the lobby here. And now that we've finally gotten into third, they have to keep Ace healthy, and they have a bomb and some other great ults to work with because they didn't have to invest any to win point B.
Yeah, Ace, listen, just throw the bomb. Just throw it. Just throw it. It'll definitely find something. You had to Kobe it out there, but either way, 50 seconds. As that keeps going along, it's going to get more and more difficult. They're going to come through. 2 D.Vas in the back line. B going to get engaged right now. DKK, they invested a whole 3 ultimates in that fight. DKK has gotten rid of 2 right now. Eventually going to trade things out. Bomb is going to be expended in the back line. Not going to find anybody, but it's just going to be the Remax onto the point right now. Eventually going to clear out, but they've won the fight, but at what cost, Megalass?
I mean, I would say it's too much of investment, but Chill Guys, I mean, they invested themselves. They're now making swaps. So all of a sudden, the only ultimate actually online is just going to be Ace's bomb here, which can be used to create space on the point. No one's going to even touch!
Touchy!
What? Chill Guy! What? Hunter! Hunter!
This
I'm out of my seat. I'm out of my seat.
This isn't the worst thing I've seen on Eichenwald. In fact, it's not particularly close, but so we went from Infinity barely being able to capture first point, barely being able to capture second point, to them finishing with time on the clock. You could not have told me, watching that last fight on first point, that they would be able to finish with time on this clock. You could not have convinced me. And now we're here. They finished with time on the clock. They have a real possibility sitting by of being able to win this map and put themselves on match point against the favorites. And again, you see it right here, just Reverts looking into thin air, and unfortunately, it cost them here. The big investment pays off. They go in with all 3 in that situation. Make sure DKK can't be taken down no matter what. And now, if you're in the situation of being Chill Guys, you're starting to feel a little anxious now, because now, this is your map choice. Infinity's finished it. Now what do? The answer is you're going to do a lot of the same, but now Infinity has something behind them as they're just going to revert back to the Malga for now, which is interesting, I'll say.
I think
probably won't.
I think the revert back to Malga is actually Chill Guys' best chance here to unlock point A very quickly and get a good time bank rolling, because like this defense is going to be so scattered from the side of Infinity, especially now that they're on Moira Lucio instead of that Juno, right? You can't even argue, oh, they'll get an orbital ray fight eventually, because there's no orbital ray to be had here. Nope. So Chill Guys just looking for an opening here with this damage boost either onto Reverts or Salty to open it up.
Yeah, honestly, this is more about just leaving the fight more and more into the DPS in this situation. Ace is kind of there to kind of sustain a little bit, to help out, to kind of be able to help out if things get a little too frisky. So I like the kind of situation that they've gone for here, and now we're going to see Chill Guys going probably a little more aggressively. They're trying to take some kind of angles, try to find a good pick here, because they just have that ability to find picks out of nowhere. The fact that you have the Echo, you have that Ashe, even the Kiriko to an extent in this situation, but you do have your Echo in pretty deep right now. Unfortunately, going to get caught out. The res is going to be a big risk, and they're likely not going to go for it, especially with Locos being back in the spawn room. And now, Big Last things are getting a little precarious now.
Like, I'm not understanding from the side of Chill Guys right now. Salty over to the far right here, just trying to open it up with some raw rocket damage. I'm here for that. Like, Revert should be set up on this high ground, even if you have to coach gun up there. And you're opting into the Malga. You said, like, I'm not following what Chill Guys is thinking here, because their comp has every advantage on paper. They're just not taking advantage of those advantages.
I mean, we saw them taking clear advantage of it from most of their defense earlier, and now they're just not. Now, this is what I'm seeing right now. You're going on an ace. You're just going to delete them. That is exactly what you want to do right now. But Coalescence is going to be brought into the fight right now. Red is going to get rid of one. Needs to really try to find a second here, but Leo's on the scene right now. All the heals in the world might not be able to stop you from an angry Moira, as the Mercy is now getting caught out, and that's going to clean things out once again. 2 minutes on the clock. And now Cloud going to try to get out of here. Pulse Bomb, because why not? To clear things out, and now 2 minutes on the clock. Infinity, honestly, just feel like are just feeling themselves right now, and Show Guys feel lost at this point.
They feel lost because they're doubting themselves in a very weird way. They're coming into this next one, though. They have Bob, they have the Valkyrie as well, and they're going to be close to Barrage, right? This has to be their fight, especially with another early pick onto Ace.
Yeah, Barrage is going to be used by Salty. It's going to find one. At the end of the day, you know, you get something, so you're trading in and out in the situation. Bob is going to be invested, clean things up. And eventually, it looks like in this situation right now, should be able to see the point eventually flip over in the situation. It's just Leo and Ace left, and I don't imagine they're going to try to commit any kind of touch. So, Joe Guys going to have a little under 4 minutes. Going to be a good amount of time to work with here as a little bit of stall, because why the heck not? Not going to result in anything, as fight's going to be set up here. And now, if you're Chill Guys, the question is how you want to try to play this.
I mean, how you want to play this, right, is, you know, denying the high ground altogether. Just simply play up at the choke, wait for that little door to open, and then stay there. But they have to first start on the high ground, I guess, and a good pick onto Loco.
Yeah, it's a great way to get things started right now in the situation as D-Flex ready to go. DKK rough situation, pretty much gets baited out into the open in that situation as Ace clean things up. And now Cloudmon's going to go back. They might be going over to that Diva. They backed way out in that situation, but looks like they're going to just stay the same here. And I'm wondering how long this is going to be functional for.
Not only how long is it going to be functional, why Infinity is holding the high ground like they're on a Diva comp. Like, this is really mentally baffling here to understand. I guess you're just going to plan to drop Cage and then you have a Blade with it as well?
Yeah, you got a Blade ready to go here. Cage Fight's going to be in there. It's cutting through the Cage Fight right now, so they're going to double down with the Cage Fight in the situation. Raj is not ready to go, though, but you might want to look at DKK, who was in there, by the way, who could have gotten deleted a moment ago, and now they won't be. Rough situation as they eventually will be. Fight should eventually go the way here of Chill Guys. Eventually going to clean things out here as everyone's going to try to escape. Unfortunately, might be a scenario of no survivors, especially with one direct, and it looks like they are not going to get out of there. Leo going to get cleaned up, and now 2 minutes and change on the clock here, coming around the corner. Realistically, just need one more fight to take second.
And they should be able to do it with the Kitsune Rush as well as the Barrage, right? The Barrage only has to end up getting 1 or 2 as long as Salty can also manage to live through that feat. But the Kitsune Rush is really going to be the cherry on top, and that can help as well.
Yeah, 100% could. Kitsune Rush is online. Separating a little bit right now is trying to find something. Need to find a direct here, but it's going both ways. And again, Infinity are going to favor their spawns a little bit more in this situation. It's going to move along. A nice direct by Salty, as the rest is going to come out online. Pulse Bomb is going to be used. Somehow nobody goes down in that situation, as now retouches are not super likely right now, as Leo is on it, but Leo is eventually going to get forced away. And now 3 minutes on the clock. Chill Guys with an opportunity to finish with a lot of time on the clock right now, but they got to keep answering. They've been doing really well these last few minutes.
Really well, but like you said, they have to continue this pace, and this is where their comp gets a little bit worse, right? There's a roof now, so Salty is not guaranteed as much free airspace to do as they please, as well as these sight lines. There's plenty of good solid walls for the entirety of Infinity to hide behind here, so maybe Reaver doesn't get his free shots.
Yeah, Beat's going to come out online. It's a risk in this situation to try to make something happen, because the Malga's still very much alive. You're going to go in all the way to Lucio. Is just going assassin in the back line, and it's not really going to work out. They're going to burn and burn and burn. They're going to stay alive, as that Bob is going to be in the worst possible spot. Reaver is getting one with the Bob. The Bob eventually going to help out with the second, and now, unfortunately, that card's going to move along, and Ace has to focus on retouching shortly.
I mean, but they didn't have to retouch yet, so Ace is just in for no reason. Ace is just in too early, and it's going to die.
Yeah, and now you don't have any ults left in the chamber. You have a couple of ults coming up online, but now with the fact that that's on the cart, it's going to move with it. Everyone's just going to get pulled in one after another. They're kind of slowly baiting on one after another right now, as Red is going to be the first to be gone 99% to a Coalescence, and now, unfortunately, going with the power drive in, Reaver and Salty doing a really good job at cleaning things up, and unfortunately, it all falls apart for Infinity after that first point hold fell apart. And now, the time difference becomes very substantial, nearly, or actually more than double the time. Show Guys sitting at 2:29, was only a minute for Infinity on the board. So for Infinity, that is realistically a fight and a half at best in that situation. So, Show Guys, I mean, started to calm me down a lot more. They started to coordinate again. That's what it really felt like.
Like, I'm just at a loss for words because it feels like this should not be as close as it is.
I get that.
I don't know. Like, it feels as though Chill Guys, yes, like they're making their composition work with this like mercy pick as well. You're seeing the Pharah, not be punished as heavily here, but Infinity on the other side of things, like I feel like everybody on Infinity has just decided that they are a DPS player, including the supports. Because we're seeing so many instances of both Red is a Hot Fry and Happy Rogue going into the backline, just going in way too deep, trying to prove something here. And I mean, looking at these stats, it's telling a very one-sided story where Chill Guys is clearly doing a lot more damage, but somehow, some way, Infinity still find themselves in this one.
Yeah, they still are. I mean, again, they've been winning very specific fights that they need to win, which is kind of their situation right now. So they're going to go out here. They very much have to play in with this full speed mentality because you want to get 2 fights out, which means they're likely not going to hesitate. They're likely just going to go, and they will do exactly that. Going in, gonna see if you can find Granny in this situation. Looks like they will be able to, and now Cloudmon gonna get deleted too. It looks like it's gonna pay out immediately in the favor, but Rez is still a potentiality in this situation. Receive 1, gonna be taken out, and now first point gonna go over very quickly in this situation over to Infinity. That's exactly the start you wanted, and now it's a question of how far you can push it here.
I mean, yeah, because a lot of your push is going to be done in overtime, right? And every meter is going to matter, especially when Chill Guys has 2.5 minutes to work with here. Obviously, no guarantee of them getting off point A, but right, every single inch you can play, every buffer is going to matter more and more here. But as we're already dwindling the time bank here, Salty getting closer to that barrage, you gotta think that Chill Guys are just waiting for this moment to strike.
Yeah, right now you see already Salty getting super close to this barrage, sitting at 95%, and now Ace has gotten deleted right now. You see just 1 body left on the car right now. You'll see everyone pivoting directly towards it, and now this could be coming to an end right here. Barrage is ready to go. Direct is brought in right now, hoping to find bodies, and unfortunately looks like it's all going to come to an end right here. And they're going to get it stopped just around the very first corner here of the second checkpoint, and now this is where things get very interesting, Megalast. This means technically for Infinity, you can give up a singular fight. After that, it is pretty much going to come down to sudden death in that situation. It's not a place you want to be, though. You want to do everything you can to stop them on first point.
And I mean, stopping them on first point, I'm still just so baffled by what we've been witnessing, right? A Diva map or a Sigma map has slowly become a Malga map despite the Malgas really not having any advantage whatsoever. No. It's just sort of the raw will of Malga that is being imposed upon these players, and, it is what it is, right? Infinity, I was going to say, are they going to continue to play the standard defense? But they do make a swap here. They have a DKK on the Sojourn instead of the Genji. This offers them a little bit of hit scan presence. Obviously not, the most reliable or anything like that, but somebody who can look to the sky, potentially punish Salty on this Pharah because they're realizing how much work it's getting done. But besides that, it's going to be more of the same for Infinity here. Chill Guys, I'd be interested to see if Reverts actually wants to come out on the Sojourn themselves, have this overclock to work with. But, Salty, how much more value are you going to continue to find on this Pharah now that there might actually be somebody looking your way?
Yeah, it's something we're going to have to see right here. Again, we saw the immediate answer that we had from Infinity on their initial attack, or more so, their attack there on their second round. So, 1 direct almost finds a second. So, it's a situation where Leo is looking for somebody. Unfortunately, they looked in the wrong direction because they got found and they get killed. They tried to be a little cheeky, Megalast. That's going to go down the drain instantly. It's already a 4v5, and now things get very frisky in this situation. Salty, he's focused on trying to find a body. They will do exactly that with the help of Cloudmon here. Because Pharmacy gonna move in, gonna start clearing things out a little bit as Ace is trying to survive on the point for as long as they can, getting every bit of support you can from a Lucio, but it's never gonna be enough against another Malga. And now Tick going away after Tick has another direct by Salty. Point's going to go through, and now Infinity cannot afford to give up another fight loss.
I mean, yeah, it's one fight territory. You hit the nail on the head there. So Infinity, I don't want to see this weird split, like we're holding high ground for some reason sort of fight, right? Just meet them at the door. If you're playing a little bit undercover, right, it's going to make it harder for the Pharah to just do that. I guess Salty's just going to kill DKK before it can really begin.
Yeah, just one of your biggest threats gone.
Oh.
Salty's got a 2K, why not? Hoping to find a third right now, and now it's all about touches. Unfortunately, touches do not exist here on Icon Vault. It's not going to happen. Match point going to be online for Chill Guys here. Infinity, again, proving they have a dog in the fight, but both these teams, honestly, having a rather sloppy map back and forth. It really felt like it came down to these DPS pretty much doing what they could, especially Reavers coming in really strong in that very first round, and eventually we had the Pharah coming through with Salty being really effective in those last couple of fights we saw there. And honestly, anytime we saw them on the Pharah, they seem to be doing a lot here, and I obviously credit the things overall here as we're looking back at this replay again. The thing that allowed them to even get to the final in the first place there, to finish out that map. Leo, massive 2K. Unfortunately, they managed to push all this way. They get all this momentum in their hand, and the moment they start losing fights, they never get that momentum back, Megalas.
No, they do not. So, Infinity now finding themselves behind that 8-ball, like you're saying. And what is their plan forward here, right? Obviously, if my memory serves well, we're either going to push or escort. They have their pick there. But really, you have to look across both those map types and figure out where can this Pharah not rain down on you. It's going to be, pretty difficult, pretty selective, I feel, with where your options from that point forward here, because it is more than just the Pharah, right? Like, obviously, you want to mitigate this impact, but, Reverts has been absolutely insane on the Ashe, Sojourn, whatever they end up picking up, as well as these healers, I feel like have been a little bit harder to lock down on the side of Chill Guys than Infinity would like here. So there's a lot of stuff that's got to be going through Infinity's head right now as we get a look at the stats. And like the damage numbers are just so inflated, and that's because of a Mercy, right? Like Mercy is damage boosting people, so they will have much higher damage numbers. And obviously Red is a hot fry. Having 15k healing on the other side is another result of that, right? But you look at this, Cloud Lemon dies 5 times on that map. The fact that Amalga died 5 times, granted you were on Diva for a bit, it's just absurd, absolutely ridiculous here. And yeah,
I mean, we see it in the numbers as well with Ace right now, who died a total of 13 times, which as a tank is a lot of times to go down, especially when I feel like they went down early in a good majority of those fights. But we would look at the DPS in this situation. Salty and Leo both had good maps in their own right, but it was just so incredibly clear who had the better map in this situation. Nearly triple the amount of damage done per 10 in that situation. Despite all the damage they took, it got absorbed and just healed by that Mercy. And despite the fact that they did end up dying more, they found all of that value in the world in that situation over on the Echo, and especially over on the Pharah. So at the end of the day, they're finding all this value in the world. Leo got kind of silenced on the map, so now Megalas, with your last ability to kind of pick a map, and potentially your last map at all in this situation, you have to opt where to go to. Your choices are very slim at this point. So at this point, would the idea just be to go somewhere where you can try to kind of shut down the Pharah as easily as possible? Because I'm looking at the list, and I don't think there's a ton of maps that are kind of great for that scenario.
I think the best case scenario is push needs to be picked, and it cannot be Runesapi, right? And it's a twofold approach, right? Because you're looking not just at that map, but what will be map 5, right? Giving Chill Guys control over choosing the escort map is definitely going to be a lot better for you than if you gave them control over push, because again, they would just pick Runesapi. It's a phenomenal Pharah map. They would pilot it to excellence as we expect them to. But so that would be kind of my mindset if I'm Infinity, right? Being able to rely on picking a push map that is not Runesapi, hoping that I get the win there, and then leaving escort up the chance.
Yeah, well, it seems you can predict the future just a little bit, Megalas, because we are going to go to push, and this map is not called Runesapi, it is called Coliseum, which I think is going to open up back the door for Leo to have more impact in the situation, and to an extent, DKK as well. And obviously, we're looking to see if there's going to be any swaps. Looks like we'll figure that out here in a moment. But either way, Coliseum, fourth, potentially final map, setting us for it right here. And at the end of the day, this is where we're likely to see the Mauga come back out here. I think the Ramatra could potentially make an appearance as well. I think you look at a lot of those mid fights where it's going to be very cramped in that situation. You can go on the outside with those mirrors no longer being there, but a lot of teams still kind of try to opt to play in that center as much as they really can because both the teams are going to pivot to some kind of brawl here. And now it's a question of the situation as, we'll find out those tasty swaps here in a moment. But either way, the question is how Infinity wants to respond here, and I think you try to let Leo go and cook again on that Tracer, because they were doing a lot. They see the opportunity to be able to do so.
And that's going to come from space creation, right? So Ace obviously has to be willing to get more aggressive, as well as DKK can't be going in on these silly off angles, trying to do too much, right? You know, where you're so desperate to have an impact, you're like yearning to actually be able to be seen, right? You almost need to sort of accept like you're in a bit of a sub role or anything like that, where you're trying to help out, and you're sort of trying to prop up Leo Leopard, because again, that's your path to victory here, as we are seeing 3 substitutions come through. Hollanders back in on DPS, Vert and Coda. I cannot read that name because of the font. I'm bad. It's on me. But yeah, so a whole new support line is in. You have a DPS player coming back in, I believe, from Antarctic Peninsula. These rotations, if we do get a win from the side of Chill Guys, I think that we definitely need to ask them about these rotations. If there's a rhyme or reason, or if it truly is just, we want to give everyone some playtime.
Yeah, little do we know, it's just a dartboard that they're just throwing at. Just random names slapped on there, just to say, all right, you get to play this map.
Hey, listen, they kept the tank it. You were asking for that.
They did.
The tank, Cloud is playing 2 maps in a row.
Yeah, Cloud is doing their job going in here today. Going to stay on that Mauga, it looks like. And as SSR, looks like Hollander might end up taking the Tracer 1v1 with Leo. I like the fact that DKK is still going to be over on this Genji. I think the Genji has found some kind of value, but it might be tough going into a Moira, so it's a swap we could see very quickly if things go good, unfortunately. But could be the last map of our series here today, and Megala's going to get things kicked off here. Coliseum going to get us going on map 4.
I'm not sure how I feel about this from Chill Guys, because this almost feels like an ego, like, hey, we can play your comp. And I'm not sure if that's really what people do. Like, Hollander has a tall task, right? Leo Leopard has been massive in this map so far here. And this hallway is also going to be determining a lot for both of these teams as we're just getting into it.
Yeah. Get these kicking off as that point is going to open up. Guess he's only bots to start moving around here in the situation already. Willing to give up a little bit of ground here is Chill Guys. Very much sitting around and waiting for their opportunity, because right now you're waiting for that speed to come through, just to go in to find somebody off guard. Realistically, you want to try to drop on Dakota or Verts in that situation if you can find them. But I mean, for now, Infinity is literally just sitting here now. They are literally just sitting here and waiting for something to happen. They're going to power drive in. They're going to eventually get rid of Reavers in the situation. Eventually going to be able to hopefully try to clean things out, but the reload is coming at a very inconvenient time. But either way, Ace going to be able to help clean things up. Hollander has already gotten 2, though, in this situation. So, managing to clear things back up a little bit here, as Chaos is very much trying to work in their favor, as the cart's going to start moving the other way. But either way, Hollander making this fight sustainable.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, tall task, and this Tracer's been doing a lot already.
What? Hollander already with the Pulse Bomb? Ace is now in a rough situation. Only has the Juno heals now. Reavert's gonna eventually be able to help take out DKK, and unfortunately, that's gonna shut down the fight, and Leo would be lucky to get out of here alive.
I mean, luck seems to be on Leo's side, at least for the time being here. But yeah, beautiful fight from Chill Guys here. Hollander being able to turn the tides, keep it so that bot never slipped out of their control the entire time. And now, you know, Infinity is going to have to find their way back into this one, as this bot has already gained 30 meters.
Yeah, it could get more than that. Already at 40 right now. This next fight is very important. We're going to see them go in deep right now. Cloudmon going to basically negate that by going right back into them right here. It's in a bit of a rough situation. It's basically just getting torn down the back line, but the beat is going to be used right now, and DKK gets annihilated in that situation. Rogue not too far behind, and now Cart's going to move along more and more right now. Pulse Bomb is online, but it's going to get held, and now 45 meters and counting. You're going to see them push up, and now getting the checkpoint, it seems very likely at this point.
Yeah, this should definitely be the forward spawn secured here. I mean, Chill Guys, they're looking dominant and in control. Infinity, you know, anytime that they've gone to the backline, they end up getting punished for it. That full commitment from the team isn't there, and it's, you know, starting to hinder them more and more. Reverts is found out, does have to actually back up here, but Infinity really is struggling to actually find if they want to commit to the front line or backline.
Point. Get a body on the point. I swear to God. They're going to move it the other way, though. Everyone's realizing the situation. DKK, okay, going to go down first in the situation. Pulse time's ready, but going to see if you can find something right now. If you're Infinity, Red is a hot fry. He's going to try to find something right now. If that Blossom's online, Revert's not going to find anything, but the damage might already be done. But Leo has got a 2K to the name, but it might be in vain in this situation. Recall going to be used. Unfortunately, they got nothing left in the chamber. Cloudmon going to clear it out with a 2K, and now 85 meters of counting should get to about 100 and counting. And this is a devastating start for Infinity.
Yeah, I mean, they now give up on the Juno, no longer the double speed, over to the Moira here. And again, maybe the Juno, Lucio just isn't enough. They're blading?
They bladed what they beat, got 0 picks for it. They forced them off the point. Coda eventually gets taken out, but your biggest issue is in this situation is you are getting picks, and that's wonderful. But they're both going to get the first respawn. You just used 2 really good ultimates, and now you just have a cage fight with a Coalescence on the other side.
Pause is now being called from the side of Infinity here. And like you said, it's not a good situation for them. They only have the cage fight to work with. Chill Guys, meanwhile, a Coalescence to keep them up through that cage, as well as a cage fight and pulse bomb of their own to respond back here. I mean, it really is looking everything in Chill Guys' favor right now. Obviously, there's still 6 minutes on the clock. There's tons and tons of time to be able to get things working here, but I mean, Infinity, like this next fight, you almost have to come into it, accept that you'll lose, and then as long as you're forcing out from Chill Guys, come in at your own bot, probably again at that 100-meter mark, win that fight, and then start the process from there of getting back into it. But it's such a risk. It's such a like measured approach that you'd have to take. That I don't know of any.
Yeah, it's something we're going to have to see here is checkpoint's going to be going back the other way, or more so, this respawn's going to go back into effect here as Hollander does get found out for the time being right now as Infinity starting to move this thing along right now. Pulse Bomb is ready to go, though, for Hollander. Found something the first time around, looking for the same thing this time around. Would love to catch it onto Happy Rogue in the situation to get thrown out. Kobe finds something as Ace is going to be able to find, or help at least DKK find one with this cage fight. And it looks like eventually the Coalescence is not going to find the intended value here. Ace is low, but it looks like it's going to start falling apart here right now as they're doing a really good job just stalling out at this point for an infinite amount of time here. But eventually it will get shut down as Leo will get forced out, and Infinity will be able to get this island moving further.
And I mean, that's the best it could have gone for Infinity right there, right? Being able to do all that without giving up the bot control, being able to continue your push is massive for them here. Now you're looking towards being trapped in a cage of your own because Cloud Lemon's here.
Uh-oh. Yep, the Cardiac Overdrive is ready to go right now. Ace is ready to kind of live right now. B is ready with Furt right now. Need to make a big decision, but it's not going to be made. A Colossus going to be brought. We're probably going to see them be brought up here in a moment if they feel like it's going to be a little too much. As we're going to see people get low, but nobody has gone down yet. Hollander super close, but has the recall. Going to be able to survive right now. Is DKK going to have a blade coming up very shortly. Has the ability to just use it if they want to, but at this point, you're not even considering it. You don't even have a chance to. So, Revert's got a 2K, clearing things back up. Should be able to get things back the other way here. And now, this is where you need to start winning the fights. You can 50-50, but you have to come away with fight wins and keep getting on the other side.
Not only, yeah, you have to win this fight before forward spawns get secured again for Chill Guys, right? Because that just means another extra fight that you'll have to take. They have plenty of space to do it with, but it is going to be a chaotic fight. Sound barrier for both teams here is going to be crucial.
Yep. Kodak is going to take it out. We're going to see it come through right now. Beat going to be used here. Reverts. Eventually going to help find one. The BKU is going to see if he can go in. Doesn't get a whole lot out of that, but it's still getting approximate value right now. Is the health pack right there right now. You eventually have Happy Rogue at 1 trying to get out right now. Tracer's still in the back line. Unfortunately, doesn't have the ability to use a pulse bomb, and unfortunately, not really a chance to live either. So now forward spawns going to go back to the way of Chill Guys. And now, if you're not careful right now, you could lose DKK, but a little bit of an overinvestment from Hollander.
Yeah, just a little too deep here, but now a few more meters are going to be gained as Infinity waits for the rest of their team. Waiting a little too long, perhaps. I mean, obviously it doesn't look like that much. You just gave up like 6-7 extra meters, but that can be the difference maker at the end of the day.
Yeah, but it does go down though. Leo doing their part here today right now. Reverts is on the scene as well. Pulse is ready, gonna stick right onto them. McClellan has got rid of 2. It's still very much alive, unfortunately. Numbers game is eventually gonna play its favorite. DKK gonna get 2 in this situation. Recall gonna be used as Hollander. Will be the last person on the point. We'll just try to get out of there as Leo want to see if they can chase down. And Happy Rogue, of all people, manages to find it, but they realistically should still get the forward spawn.
Yeah, they'll definitely get spawned forward here. And I think something that was really interesting to watch there in that fight, right? Ace's target selection, choosing to shoot at Reverts, who had the Wraith form up still, instead of trying to get that extra healing off of Cloud Lemon like Cloud Lemon is doing. Like, the Malgas really do have to shoot at each other to stay alive in these fights.
Yep, he's fight ready to go, though. Cloudmon is online here. Use the cage fight has nothing in that situation. They use the coalescence as if they had something inside, and they just don't. But they win the fight anyway. Why not? Now, Heavy Rogue is literally sitting at 1, doesn't have the ability to heal themselves enough, and now they're going to get forced out. Force spawns, again, going back the other way. Again, 50-50 in some scenarios in Overwatch is great. In this current situation, it is almost a terrible thing that is happening to them right now.
Terrible is the word I would use here. But, you know, again, Infinity, now their spawns are so close they can actually just get here. And look at this, right? Chill guys, they realize they don't have to push anymore. It is truly just about holding forward here. Some extra meters is nice for them as the cage fight comes out, but his cage is so low.
Yeah, and now it's a question whether or not you want to invest in this situation right now. Reverts has an opportunity, but everything is being invested. You almost have to hold on to it. Ends up being the right decision, as if you're Cloudmon and Coda, you're going to try to get out of here alive. But this attempt to leave out of here alive might cost them getting those good spawns, but it looks like they should be able to get it anyway. So, again, you get out 2 really good ultimates. You're happy with that fight if you're chill, guys. Have to be.
Yeah, because now you're coming in, again, with your own sound barrier for the Dragon Blade. And we saw how this Dragon Blade versus Death Blossom went the last time, right? Reverts won that one resoundingly. Maybe DKK can change their fate here, but it's still going to be an uphill battle. Oh, they don't even realize the Reaper's here.
Brother, you gotta know. You gotta know these things. And looks like they still have one ready to go. They're going to go in. Unfortunately, gets deleted. DKK needed to have a hero moment, but it goes down the drain. Ace gets thrown down the chute. Pulse Bomb is going to be used. It's going to get caught, but Leo, again, Leo can't do it all on their own. They've been a powerhouse throughout the entirety of the series on this character. Unfortunately, they've been getting shut down more and more and more. It's like when you put double coverage on a wide receiver who's doing really good, and you need to double coverage them, and it just completely shuts them down. That's what's happening right now.
It's exactly what's happening. And now, as we're below a minute, right, this Death Blossom from Revert still looming. The sound barrier is there for Happy Rogue, but forward spawn's going to get reactivated here. Nobody's going to attempt to contest it in time. I mean, Infinity's running out of time to make it work.
Yeah, and now you have to be flawless from here on out. You're not awarded the ability to lose again. There used to be. Coda does go down, though. Coalescence is going to be online for the next fight, though. Reverts is there. Has the ability to use the ultimate. They are definitely considering it right now, but they're getting too low. Eventually going to be cleared back out here. Ace getting super low, but does manage to stay alive. And now Megalas, it has to be perfection for here, and we're looking at, I mean, let's be real, 4 fights at least.
I'm looking at 4 ultimates for Chill Guys and 0 for Infinity in an overtime situation. I mean, if Infinity wins this map, I will, like, do a shoey or something. I don't know. Like, everything is stacked against them right now.
Well, it has to be before it's taken care of, but Reverts is in, gets rid of 1, and now it's all falling apart. All 4 just get thrown in, cleaning things up. Chill Guys make the example here in the first round. Gonna move on to the next. 3-1 victory for them here today. Infinity fighting with everything they had, making a name for themselves here, but unfortunately, Chill Guys wasn't gonna let them do it at their expense.
I mean, yeah, Chill Guys, they're just some chill guys. They absolutely played that well here, despite, you know, the roster mania swapping everybody around. They were able to still get it done at the end of the day. And, you know, across a variety of compositions, they looked incredibly strong here, going toe-to-toe. I mean, you see why this team is, you know, 9-0. They won the midseason tournament, why they're the favorites right now. They just look so damn good at what they're doing.
I mean, again, this is the reason why they're the favorites. Again, we talked about it going into this, that they have bled before. They have had situations where they've gone into map 5s in 3 separate occasions and managed to pull it out. The weak points were that control and that clash. They went through both of them without losing, or with only losing one of them in that situation. And unfortunately from there, it just kind of started falling apart more and more and more. Reverts was doing so well in this Reaper as well, doing well overall throughout the day, as was Hollander and pretty much everyone that came in rotation for Chill Guys in their own right. Infinity did the best they could with the lineup that they had in that situation. And again, had some really good fights. Unfortunately, that's the really unfortunate part when you get to push Mega Last, is when these get out of hand very early, it is so incredibly difficult to pull it back.
Yeah, I mean, it's so unbelievably difficult to pull it back indeed. But, again, Infinity, they put up a strong showing across most of those maps here. I'd be interested to watch their lower bracket run to see if they can, maybe learn from this matchup and come back at it reformed and renew, because there were some merits, right? They were absolutely pushing Chill Guys to the absolute extreme here, but somebody's got to win at the end of the day, and Chill Guys, they just got it they just were able to do it.
Yeah, it's gonna be that situation. So now we know Chill Guys will move on to that next round, and unfortunately Infinity gotta move down to the lower bracket, have to start from round 1 down there to make their way back. And it's a situation we'll obviously break it down far more when we get here a little more into the show. But either way, comparison once again to clean things out here with the tanks once again. And again, it was the scenario that Ace was just having a trouble staying alive in a lot of these fights. Again, their deaths per 10 stuck around that 7 to 8 range pretty much the entirety of the series. And unfortunately, again, you need to survive if you're a tank. Cloud9 pretty much has half of that in that situation. They're doing a really good job at just being able to stay alive, and that is learning when you can go in, when you can back out, and honestly, when to move in with your team. There were a lot of times where Ace felt like they were either sitting around too long or just found themselves in no man's land. And as a tank, as any character, quite honestly, that is not something you can allow yourself to do.
Absolutely not. And, that's one of the crucial things about this Malga meta, right? You have to actually understand it's not just as simple as clicking the hero and going in and just shooting willy-nilly. You have to actually think about what you are doing in these fights here. And, Ace just did not have that extra thought process behind them. But again, you're looking back at this, right? Infinity definitely played incredibly close here, doing a lot more in Eichenwald than even I expected, to absolutely give them the credit they deserve. But Chill Guys, I mean, they know their picks for a reason. They looked confident across all maps, and they're able to get the job done, and that's what you need from them.
Yep, good for them. Get to move up to these winners semis in that situation. As I said before, unfortunately for Infinity, gonna have to go down to the lowers round 1, have to fight back. I mean, it's gonna be a heck of a fight at the end of the day. Only one team can make it out of that losers bracket. And in this situation, you have to win 4 straight matches to get into the grand finals. It's going to be a rough journey. But, again, they have come in today. They have proven that they are still a force to be reckoned with. They nearly turned this into a 5-mapper. This was close to getting to that point right now when you look back at that Ica wall. I'm sure we were both thinking for ourselves, like, oh my god, this might be happening. This might be a genuine upset. But either way, they have that dog in them right now. They can bring that fight. There's a chance we get to see this again. Who knows? But it's only a situation of time will tell. But either way, Mega Last. I mean, both teams have put out a heck of a performance here today. It is always exciting to see what these teams can kind of come out with, but either way, Mega Last, I would love to sit here and toll away for days on end about everything that I would love to talk about. But I'm sure there are things you want to talk about to some of the players over on the side of Chill Guys, so we're going to step away for a couple of minutes, get an interview set up for y'all, so stick around for a few minutes, and we'll be right back.
Yo. Cash and the ticket is yours. Cash and the ticket is yours. Yo. Cash and the ticket is yours. Cash and the ticket is yours. Cash and the ticket is yours. Yo. Cash and the ticket is yours. Yours. Got lots of love.
Welcome back, everybody, from our break. We're on the other side of our matchup. Chill Guys getting a 3-1 victory over Infinity. Going to move on to the winners semis in the situation. And joining us today for an interview, it's Vert joining us. And first of all, congratulations on a big win here in the playoffs.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, 100%. Obviously, I'm sure you went over this when we eventually had our picking stream, but what was kind of the ideology going against Infinity? Because there seemed to be teams that had worse records than Infinity in that situation. So what was kind of the ideology against going up against them first, than teams that seemed to be kind of performing worse overall?
Well, to be completely honest, there were a lot of rumors going around that we were going to pick Cogent first. And just to be completely honest, we did have our eyes set on Cogent when Infinity wasn't in the bracket, because we just wanted to go ahead and play them and kind of see how it went. But when Emi Brownies got eliminated and Infinity took its place, we instantly decided to go with Infinity because there was a player on Infinity named Ace Matrix who said, and I quote, "I can diff everyone on the team except Cloud," and he didn't play once today. So the only reason, literally the reason we picked Infinity didn't even play today. So it felt a little bittersweet, if I'm being honest. But it is what it is.
Whoa.
It's that bittersweet when the reason goes a little bit by the wayside here. Just the thing that's on my mind, I have to ask. The hero swaps. You're swapping 2-3 members every single map. Is there a rhyme or reason to that, or is it just like we're giving people playtime?
A mix of both. So Ekenwild, the lineup we do run, everyone who's watched us in New York codes, that is the lineup we've run all season. Just because we really like how Salt performs on the Echo and the Pharah with that Mercy Pocket, and just Rev on the hit scan is lethal. So that's just always what we've run on Ekenwild, so that's what we're comfortable with. But in terms of the other subs, so frequently, I don't want to throw shade. We were just trying to give playtime around before we get too deep in the playoffs and start focusing on our main rosters. That, and we knew that everyone and their mother on Cogent would be watching this game, so we didn't want to give too many of our cards away just yet.
That's fair. I mean, looking ahead, though, I guess, speak of the devil, because of your win here, Cogent is now awaiting you in Winners Round 2. Like you were talking about, maybe this you guys feel like you wanted this matchup. This could be you guys could be the team to finally sort of bring it to them when everybody has them pinned and favored. Are you excited, or are you nervous now that the day is finally here?
As a player, as a competitor, there's always a bit of nerves on game day. Even today, going up against Infinity, who, I want to give them a quick shout out and some quick credit. They played a lot better on the Malga than we were anticipating. We were definitely put off by it on map 2 for sure, and we were like, okay, let's regroup and let's revamp and take this a little more seriously. But there's always those nerves on game day. But I believe in my team. They've always been there when I've needed it. It's been a very emotional season for us just because we've had a lot of personal issues going on, and whenever I've needed anything, they've always been there. So I really like the culture and the environment we've built, and regardless of whether we win or lose, considering the fact that we've never really played with each other outside of this tournament, I really just think speaks to how well we've grown as a team. And so we're gonna go in there. We're gonna kick their butt as best we can, and if we don't do it in the winners bracket, we'll do it in the finals.
Yeah, I mean, it's clearly shown that y'all just synergize really well together. Y'all play fantastic together as well. And we're hoping to see y'all make it as far as you possibly can. But of course, that lower bracket is a question mark. That is something that does exist. And obviously, everybody except for one is essentially going to drop down there at some point. Is there a team, just any team that comes to mind that is either already in the lower bracket or you think is going to drop down there soon, that you think kind of has a chance to go on like a miracle run of sorts, kind of like a bit of an underdog story, perhaps?
I definitely think there's a couple of teams that are slept on. Ace of Spades, and I know they're my sister team, so you can take this with a grain of salt, but they played against Golden Hour very competitively, and Golden Hour is a team that our org thinks really highly of. We think they're really good. So the fact that they played them pretty closely, we definitely think there's a couple of teams that they could probably play. But in terms of like a miracle run, if I had to give it to any team, I'd probably say BGSU. They're playing Oops All Vibes right now. We played them and we looked at their record. It was like 2-3, and we thought, yeah, this is going to be an easy walk in the park. And then we went to 5 against them. They've just really grown. They've gotten really better. I know the team captain personally, and we wish them all the luck in the world in their match tonight. But we're also big friends with Oops All Vibes, so kind of torn on where that goes. But in terms of like a miracle run, if they get knocked out tonight against Oops All Vibes, I don't think any team will want to play them moving forward, because they are just, on the maps that they play well, they play really, really well. And honestly, considering how much smack Bear talks about our team, I'd really like to see him go up against VGSU.
Well, I'm excited to watch some BDSU play. They are literally like 10 minutes down the street from me, so I'm excited to see them play. No bias here. I promise. But obviously, we want you to be able to go and celebrate. But before we do, if there is anything you kind of want to say to the audience, if there's anybody you want to thank, we're going to open the floor to you to be able to do so.
First and foremost, huge shout out to Lucky Prince. I know he's not really well known in the org anymore, in the league anymore, in the server, but he let me come over and run the org. The only reason that we have a team was because he came and let me, just because a couple of things went down, and he invited me. He was like, "Hey, you want to come run the team?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" So, huge shout out to him. I hope he's watching this. Wouldn't be possible without him. Huge shout out to my tank Cloud. Not just because he was insane on the Malga today, but also because he's definitely the rock of our team. Whenever we're down, he always brings us up, and whenever I've needed to take a break from managing and captaining, he's always been there. So, huge shout out to him. Last, and then I'll get out of y'all's hair. Huge shout out to Bear, biggest fan. I know you're watching this. I love you, Bear. You take the rage bait a little too personally, and you can watch more of us when we eliminate your team in the finals.
Ooh. Oh, all right. I love the sauce there at the end. You would love to see it, but either way, gonna see if that's gonna become a reality. Obviously, we will let you go in. We will let you go and celebrate now, as much as we could probably ask 1,000 more questions for the heck of it. But again, congratulations on a big win, and best of luck with the rest of the playoffs.
Thank you, guys.
Yep. You take care now.
Wow.
Megalas, I love that energy. By the way, I'll be honest. That's peak energy right there.
See, I love the energy purely because I have some opinions about the Diamond Division that I will be keeping to myself, because otherwise I will be fired from CGL and never allowed anywhere near broadcast again about certain teams. But like you said, I like the energy, I like the confidence, and to be able to, show that and keep it going, it's just the energy of playoffs, and you love to see it.
No, you absolutely love to see it. We get into this playoff, so we have that energy where it feels like, to an extent, anything can really happen. Any team can kind of make a big run here, especially look at that lower bracket. The amount of teams that have dropped down in there that have an immense amount of talent onto them. We're going to see some really good do-or-die matches as the season, or more so as the playoffs, keep moving along, and that's something I'm very excited to see. And Megalas, while I wish we could sit here and cast more maps, that is both a thing that is not happening and both a thing that may kill us both if we decide to keep casting today. It's been a very long day for a lot of people here today, but either way, Megalas, if there's anything you want to say, I'm going to give you a chance to do so now, because I have to flame a certain man who kind of bullied me on my 3-1 pick, so if you want to say something?
I'm going to go yell at the concrete, you yell at Ray. Tune into CGL co-stream tomorrow, because I am so tired and I want people to be there so I can be tired with other people.
Yes, please join Megalas. Do it. Seriously, do it. Wake up early enough. You have no excuse. What do you have to do? Gotta work? Gotta go play Overwatch? No, you go watch Megalas. But either way, it's been a good day. It's been a fantastic match. We're gonna throw this back over to the desk, and I just want y'all to know, I called it. Y'all were wrong. Just please write down the information and don't be too sad that you messed up.
The nerve of those casters. My God. Ray, I mean, you specifically getting called out.
I know. Not cool.
Listen, the gall he has to come in here after a cowardly pick of a 3-1 just because he got it right. I went out on a limb. Did I get punished for it? Yes, I did. But I went out on a limb. He wants to cower in the corner and then stick out his chest when he was right. No, sir. You don't get to do that.
Oh man, Jeff. I mean, what a series though, right? 3-1 here. Chill Guys versus Infinity. Infinity doing the impossible task. It feels like going right in that middle ground to take one map off of Chill Guys, who were living up to their name. They were just having a chill night, chill time, and they were still able to pull out punches
Well, I mean, Infinity did do something that nobody has been able to do before this year. Unfortunately, it wasn't what they wanted. They were hoping to be the first team to hand a series loss to Chill Guys. As it stands, they're the first team to hand them a 3-1 victory. That's their consolation prize here. I mean, I don't think anybody could have expected for Leo Leopard to go on a massive flooded deadlift that was map 2, though. Like, come on. Like, there's anybody predicted that. No way. No shot.
Yeah, no, it was a crazy performance from them that unfortunately couldn't translate into the rest of the maps that we saw following map number 2. After Anubis, Chill Guys were like, okay, hold on, we are this team. Iconwell was a little shaky, right? It took a bit of time to get there, but eventually still ended in that victory. And obviously Coliseo was written in the blood of Infinity. Chill Guys was just done with this series and ready to go. So, I mean, Ray, seeing this kind of performance out of Chill Guys, it's definitely a team that's showing why they've been undefeated in regular season and really setting the tempo of what's happening in the playoffs.
Agreed. And they even kind of admitted in the interview that they were kind of holding back and making sure they got some of their players who got them the way here, some play time in some of these lower matches before it starts tightening up and they play some of the better teams. And they even said, we know Kojin's watching, we don't want to show them anything. So that's the crazy part, was they held back a little bit, didn't show all of their strats, and still was able to get the victory. Only played one map, but huge shout outs to Salt. And we say Salt because he's got the U in his name. So Salt on that Thera Echo on Iconwall was absolutely dominant in the skies.
I mean, goodness gracious from Chill Guys, Jeff. It felt like if you blinked, it was an entirely different composition. Not quite as extreme, right? But every map gave us a different flavor of what this team is capable of. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. That really only just for one map, but they were able to put these differing looks together and stitch together the victory they were looking for.
Well, and that's so impressive, right? The fact that they can fall on like a plan B or a plan C and like, no, we want to hide our primary strats and we're going to come out and win with may not be our starting roster. We heard, Cloud Lemon is a real anchor for this team, as is Salty. We did not see either of them in for the entirety of this series. Both of them took a seat and let some of the other people get into the mix, and that's the kind of confidence they had. Chill Guys come in, they play strats that's not their top strats. They're benching some of their most important players, and they still come out with the dub. Like, it's an impressive run, and if I was their opposition, I would be taking notes here, and I probably would be shaking in my boots a little bit.
Yeah, there's the notes that you got to take, right? You got to be careful. You got to parse through the information and make sure you're getting what is correct from it. But at the end of the day, you're seeing a team that is bursting with confidence. They're ready to take on the toughest opponent that they possibly could and still come out the victor in a 3-1 spectacular, not even using their primary strats, not even using the players they want to. It's a show of force and putting their foot in the sand and saying, come at us, everyone. We may be chill, we ain't here to lose. It's just reflected here so perfectly and so succinctly by this team. And so, with a great series, with a great victory, obviously needs to have the player who exemplifies the team at their best moments. I don't think we have any other idea of who it could be than the DPS extraordinaire, Reverts, who, flexing in between a couple of different roles. We're seeing the Cassidy right here. We saw massive value coming from them out of the Reaper from this point. Massive DPS potential that really just pushed Chill Guys across a lot of the different finish lines.
Every clip we're seeing is Reverts on a new hero. Literally, it's every clip, it's Reverts on a different hero. And every time they're having huge impact in on the fight. As we see, the double kill right here in this current clip. But it goes back to that flexibility, and I think that's one of the reasons we gave the nod to Reverts here today. And once again, fourth clip, fourth hero we've seen from Reverts throughout this series. And so no matter what role Chill Guys needed Reverts to fill, Reverts did it exceptionally, and was also one of the only players that played the entirety of the series. So, there is that. You were there for all 4 maps. You excelled for all 4 maps. What more do you want?
Yeah, well, Ray, right? What more could you want from a player like this who is able to fill all of these different shoes, who is able, and it's easy to point at the DPS player, right? Oh, look at what the DPS is doing. They're fragging out. They're making everything look so cool and whatnot. But at the end of the day, they're doing it across a multitude of different heroes, multitude of different playstyles. It's not even just like, going from hit scan to hit scan. It's going from hit scan to projectile to different types of strategies on what you need to play, whether it's poking or whether it's diving after whomever they need to, right?
It's also kind of piggybacking off what Jeff said. Like, you played all the maps. They had constantly players rotating in and out. So it's hard to be like, well, Salt was incredible, but was only in for one map. Reverts was incredible, in for all 4 maps on so many different heroes. And it's not even the fact, like, it's not like, oh, he had a bunch of pop-off moments. He was also extremely consistent in the value he was bringing. So it wasn't just the pop-off. It was the consistency, the flexibility, and the amount of, like, playing the whole series, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, massive congratulations to Reverts, a true hero for the Chill Guys round 1 winners round 1 bracket.
He was the chillest of all the guys.
Yeah, he exemplary chill. I got a shiver down my spine when the MVP was announced. So, hey, big congratulations to them. Big congratulations to guys who continues to move on throughout the winners bracket. And I think, Jeff, we've had a nice long day of Overwatch. It's not done yet, though. There's still one more match coming up after this. But it's hard to complain with the quality that we're getting out of these playoffs right now.
There's no complaints. I mean, everybody's a winner as far as I'm concerned. At least all of the viewers, all of us here in the desk, the casters, we get nothing but dubs from these games, and it's. Even in these early matches when we're going to have the most diversity between like the standings and stuff, where you're going to have your undefeated teams going up against a 5-3 team or somebody who's dropped a few series. And even in some of these where we've had very heavy underdogs, especially these S&O matches we've had today, they've been very close. And I mean, we even had the underdog come out on top. There's been no 3 Overwatch here. Everybody is playing at that S tier level right now. And it's just a joy to behold. We're all winners. We're all winners, Sam.
We are, and it feels so good, Ray, right? Even stepping into the diamond tier, we got some phenomenal Overwatch. We got to see players giving us their all, showing everything that they have and more to be able to express that skill that they so desperately want to get out there to the world.
Listen, I love delving into the diamond tiers. I talked about, as soon as we loaded into map 1 and we're in our own little chat, I was like, Zarya versus Ram. This is why I love going to the diamond tier. And I don't mean that like, I'm like, this is awesome. I love it. Like, these are awesome. I mean, yes, did we eventually get back to the Malga? Yes, but it was also not standard Malga. Did we see a bunch of Brig Juno? Not really. Moira Lucio with the Malga? Like, I'm all for seeing really cool niche iterations on even what the meta is.
All I'm saying is it's good Overwatch tonight. It's been phenomenal, and it's still more to come. So let's go ahead, pull up the schedule real fast to take a look at what that final match is going to be, because we've had a spectacular showcase starting off on EU with the Team EXE versus EMC Helheim, where the EMC Helheim upset happened 3-2. RRGJV beating up their varsity squad 3-0. The obvious matchup that we had here, Chill Guys versus Infinity 3-1. And to, well, close things out after this match, we have Oops All Vibes in the lead against PGSU Falcons 1-0. And that's happening on the CGL_2 channel, which I'm sure we'll be raiding into shortly after this broadcast is over. So still more Overwatch to come. However, that is going to be it for us here on the desk for Saturday Night Overwatch. So I want to gather some final thoughts before we close things out, starting off with you, Ray.
Just great Overwatch as these playoffs get further and further in. I can't wait to see as we have more Saturday Night Overwatch events. One thing I will keep in mind, it is still up in the air next weekend. It kind of depends on availabilities and stuff like that. We're not sure what's going to go on next Saturday. We may have it, we may not. I mean, we'll keep updates as we know them, but for sure we'll be back the Saturday after that. So I just want you guys to keep in mind with that.
There you go. Jeff, final thoughts?
I mean, it's playoffs. It's the best time of year. This is what we've been looking forward to. And today is a very, very good exemplary reason as to why. Upsets abound, fun comps all around. We get all-star pop-off performances. We get to see players, shine that you may have never heard of before. I mean, Leo Leopard comes to mind from the series that we saw today. A player I'd never seen before coming out and, putting up that kind of a performance that we saw that too. This is what playoffs is all about. And so, yeah, I look forward to more and can't wait to keep this going. Happy holidays for everybody in the States who celebrates Thanksgiving. We got that coming up. Hope you get to see some quality time with your families and all that stuff. So, yeah, we'll see you back here soon.
We will see you back here soon. So I do want to give a couple of final shout outs real quick. Of course, a big shout out to the great members of the desk who try hard. Ray and Jeff. Make sure to go and check them out. We also have our casters Hunter Tane and Megalast, our behind the scenes production staff Hippie, June, Rhino, Vod, Cry, and Orange for their amazing work in making everything look as good and sound as good as it did. And a big thank you to all of you for watching. Make sure you hit that follow button if you're watching on the Twitch channel. If you're watching on the YouTube, make sure to subscribe. We have the whole history of VODs in there. So if you want to watch what happened in EU earlier today, or you want to go back all the way to week 3 of NA, you have that capability.
You do want to see what happened in EU earlier. Go watch it.
Yes, you do. It was a good matchup. Like I said, amazing amounts of Overwatch. And again, make sure to go and check out the CGL_2 channel where we have the other matchup going on now, the final matchup of the evening. From all of us here at CGL on Saturday Night Overwatch, we'll see all of you on the next show.
Try to knock me.